We're not speculating, we're not reacting, and we're not ranting. We're walking through an important blog I've written on Goliath Ventures, line by line, because what unfolded wasn't just collapse, it was a structure. And when a structure collapses, the real question is never just what happened. The question is who knew and when did they know? Before we go any further, there is one concept you need to understand. And I want you to think about this one. It's called willful blindness. You got that? Go to ChatGPT, go to Grok, search for it, find out what it actually means, because this is going to be an important part of this blog. Now, unfortunately, I've got this dog that wanted to jump up on my knee just beforehand because he feels like he's starved attention. So it's going to be a bit of an interesting meeting. This is Pixel. Pixel is a 3-year-old schnoodle who's very needy today. Willful blindness is not confusion. It has not been misled. It's not been naive. It's when someone deliberately avoids confirming what is already obvious, because confirming it would create responsibility. Red flags. The red flags were there. Now think about this. You've got all these partners that got involved with Goliath Ventures. They know that they are pushing guaranteed returns at 4% monthly returns. No registered security findings. They chose to ignore that. Secret wallets. They chose to ignore that. Audit excuses. They chose to ignore that. Banking delays. They chose to ignore that. And MSB approvals that never materialized, and they chose to ignore that. At the same point, it stops being ignorance and becomes a decision, and legally, that decision matters. The US Supreme Court has made it clear. Deliberate avoidance of knowledge can legally equal actual knowledge. If you continuously shield yourself from the truth and don't get to later claim you don't get to later claim that you didn't know. And we've seen this before in Iran. Executives argued they relied on others. In the Murdoch scandal, feeder funds claimed they trusted the returns. The defense of "I didn't know" collapsed when the evidence showed they chose not to know. Now, bring that back to Goliath. Partners recruited aggressively. Partners collected commissions. Partners repeated the guarantee return narrative. Partners reassured investors during the so-called audit. Partners discouraged withdrawals during banking delays and told you to hyper-compound your money. Many of these same individuals were warned by me, publicly, repeatedly, and chose not to engage with those warnings. That is not passive victimhood. That is willful blindness. And now we'll dive into the next layer. Now, why I want to discuss that is because I'm getting a lot of people contacting me saying, what's happening to the partners? And the reality is probably not a hell of a lot. And just before I went live, I had a meeting about an hour ago with a lawyer. And he gave me some really interesting information about what potentially could happen to these LLC companies and how the government treats these companies and their assets and how they go after people. And he has come up with some really good suggestions. So people in Orlando, people in Canada, you will need to find out the time difference, but the same time as now on my Friday, your Thursday, we will be doing a open mic discussion, and we're inviting victims, family members, anyone that's involved with Goliath Ventures to come on a live call while we're doing this. I've got a chat room that's open, or not a chat room that's open, well, there is a chat room that's open right now but we'll actually have the opportunity where people can come on stage and talk. Now, I've already got people telling me they're going to be there and they're going to be on stage and they want to talk and tell and share their experience. And I'm encouraging other people to start talking about what's just happened. However, we've got a lawyer who's also said that he would like to be able to come and talk about what he believes is a good way of getting some money back. And in short, rather than going after Christopher, there is other ways to get money back. So if these, I won't tell you what it is, we'll keep you in suspense a little bit, just because I want to be clear when I provide any information, and I don't want to be the guy that's telling you should try to claim your money back. And I also don't want to hand out a hope that there is recovery of money and the money hasn't disappeared, because I'll be honest, I'll have to be transparent here and say that I don't believe there's a cent left to recover. And I'm sorry that might hurt. You might not believe it, but you also didn't believe me when I was blowing this Ponzi scheme up and put it in front of your faces. So you probably won't believe me when I say there's no money left. And going by the lawyer that I just spoke to, who's not associated with any lawsuit that's out there at the moment, he also agreed there'll be no money left. And he said because every single Ponzi scheme ends the same way. They bleed it dry, hoping to keep the illusion alive. And I think the people who run this, like Chris, actually think they're untouchable and they are unstoppable. And they just get this mentality thing going in there that no one can stop me and I'm wonderful and look at my new shirt and my earrings in my ear sort of stuff. Right, so now what I want to talk about, the second part of my introduction, is probably the whole focus of what's happening. A dog has just gone to sleep on my lap, so this might not be the smoothest. He's standing up now. What are you standing up for? Anyway, that's cool. So Nick Petrillo is the person I want to go after today, because I personally believe he's definitely going to do jail time. I do believe that Matt Burke is going to do jail time, and also believe that Piers Curry is going to do jail time. And that's just my unprofessional opinion. But Nick Petrillo was a partner inside the structure. Nick has retained a lawyer who has publicly suggested there may be up to $1 million locked up. No, sorry, $1 billion. I must update my notes. Not $1 million, $1 billion locked up. So that's a massive lot of money for a lawyer to tell people publicly. So I'm going to show you that, but in law360.com published an article and quoted Nick's lawyer claiming that he has reason to believe that there is $1 billion locked up. And then he's helping Nick, who is the person at the top of the cliff, pushing people over the cliff, to go after Goliath Ventures, claiming that he didn't know what was going on. Let's just call that willful blindness. And I'm putting it out there, guys. Think about what that does to psychologically. It creates hope. Now, I've done, oh, my dog, what do you want to do? Up, come here, give us a cuddle. Oh, goodness me. Great. Oh, you're right, you're comfy? All right, he's comfy. Well, I'll get the mic in a better position. Now, this will be a bit more casual than normal. Let's go for it. It creates hope. Now, talk about people who, do you mind not licking my ears? Because I've got my earplugs in. It creates hope for people, and hope is a terrible thing. I often talk about, imagine Chris, he's in the jungle and he's in jail, and he's been there for years, and he's been trying to escape, and then eventually he found a way to escape, and he's made a hole in the fence, and he climbs through the hole in the fence, and no alarms go off, nothing happens. It's all just, I've got away. So he sneaks away, and he's getting away from the prison, and then all of a sudden, the lights come on. And then he goes, oh, surely they don't know him. And then here's the sirens. Prisoner escape. So then he thinks, well, I'm not going back to prison. I'm going to run for it. So he starts running, and he runs, and he's put on a bit of weight, and he's a bit more chubbier than he was before he had all the surgery done, because it's all gone back to his belly. And he's running as hard as he can, and the sweat's pouring down his face. And then he's thinking, oh, maybe I can get away. And he doesn't know where he is. And he's smashing through all the bush and all that sort of stuff. And then he hears dogs barking. And he starts to run harder, faster, even though he's overweight and he's a blob. He's running as fast as he can. And then he sees spotlights. And he runs as hard as he can. He runs. Get this, he's running, right? Okay. And then he finds a clearing. He looks behind him and there's a guy with a machete still cutting through the bush, trying to catch up. And he runs through the clearing and he runs over a cliff. And now he's falling. He's falling, he's knocking trees on the way down. And he managed to slow his fall, slow enough so he could grab onto a branch. And it stopped his fall. He's away from the guys that were chasing him, but he's now hanging from a branch. His heart's racing. He's not very fit. He's overweight and he can't hang on for much longer. And then a nice gentle voice from behind, let's say me, says, "Hey, Chris, you're okay, mate. Let go of the branch." And he turns around and he sees that he's only half a foot off the ground. So he's going to let go of hope and he's fine. So hope is something that you hold on to. We all have to have hope. So when somebody says they have reason to believe there's $1 billion locked up, it gives people hope. And that just pisses me off. I will be very honest about that. And it acts like a carrot. But here's the structural problem. If investors are encouraged to work through a lawyer who is representing Nick Petrillo, and they later see, and later these same investors you wish to pursue Nick, you are immediately running into a potential conflict of interest. So Nick's move to hire a lawyer and then him to wave a big flag of hope to everybody, and we've already got our fourth case with that same lawyer, is now telling people who want to go after the partners, this particular lawyer is probably going to get quite a few people knocking on his door, but then they're going, I want to go after Nick because I subscribed up under Nick. He's got 900 clients. They're going to say, we can't because it's a conflict of interest. Isn't that just like the perfect storm? A lawyer representing a partner cannot simultaneously be a neutral gateway for claims that might be directed at the same partner. So the question becomes, is this about maximizing recovery, or is it about controlling the perimeters of exposure? Because when a lawyer represents a partner, it signals possible recovery funds and becomes the focal point for an investor. I wonder if I can do that with a doggy. Coordination. That lawyer is intentionally or not shaping the boundaries of accountability. I hope I said that right. I was going to read it, but the dog's sitting on my knee. And the blog we're about to walk through shows something even bigger. In the same week, two completely different legal strategies emerged. So we've got two strategies and they're completely different. Why would that be? One approach opened the scope, naming individuals, officers, affiliate entities. The other narrowed the exposure, confining liability to the corporate shell, which is just Goliath Ventures. Scope matters because in financial collapse litigation, scope determines whether accountability expands or quietly contracts. This isn't about outrage. This is about documentation. This is about whether I did know is a defense or a decision. So let's have a look through the blog. So I'm a wee bit hopeless at the moment. So what we're doing here, guys, I'm just making sure one of my streams didn't work because I forgot to set that up. Rumble. There's no Rumble today. So this is my blog, and if you want to find out what you can do, if you want to support me, I do appreciate donations. You can click on the yellow button. It says support me. And there was a placeholder video before this video here to say that we're not doing it just for the money, but I need to keep the wolves away from the door. So you can support me anonymously via Ko-Fi, or you can buy me a cup of coffee and also support me anonymously here. It's all on my website. And people are supporting me anonymously, and that's really, really nice and much appreciated. I spend a lot of time and energy and money, and so have my Avengers, I don't share the money with them, though. I just take it all. but we all do this for different reasons. I'm trying to make a full-time career out of this, so I do appreciate the support. If you can do so, that would be much appreciated. And that's enough of the sales pitch. But if you come to my website, dehek.com, so it's DEHEK, some people have told me they are binge watching my videos. So hello to a few of you young people. You'll know who I'm talking to. But what I've done is on the homepage of my website, you can read articles about who I am and what I do for a living. And then you'll see my latest articles. And obviously, they're all about Goliath Ventures at the moment. So if you click on Goliath Ventures, you're going to see me here arguing with a lawyer. And I'm actually criticizing what he's actually doing and the way he's doing it. That's why I'm yelling at him. And yeah, so let me explain how this works. I'll just see if I can make the screen bigger with the dog sitting on my knee. Maybe that's enough. And I think this is really important, and I'm going to break this down. Now, if you have, I know that people I'm chatting to, I do realize that some of you have filed lawsuits, and I know who you are, and I'm not knocking what you're doing. I do understand it costs a lot of money to file a lawsuit. Now, I will mention the lawyer I was speaking to earlier on. I reckon he's got quite a good strategy. If you've used your bank to deposit your money into Goliath, then you can actually go after the banks sometimes. And that's what's happened here in New Zealand and Australia, is some people have been scammed with romance scams. And the bank hasn't done their due diligence in warning people in some cases, and they can actually go after the bank and get the bank to pay up for not doing things correct. Now, I'm not saying that's the case here, and I don't want to give you false hope, but there is other ways to get money just rather than just going to Chris, who I believe the money's all gone. Also, anyone that's theoretically a professional providing professional advice who's provided the wrong advice, technically speaking, you could sue them. Sue them, and then they would have to claim on their insurance money, which is another way of getting money for malpractice. All right, so let's carry on. So when a fraud collapses, the real story isn't just who gets arrested. It's who doesn't get sued. When the United States government formally sieged, was it sieged? Alleges that a company has raised $328 million in a Ponzi scheme, the public instinct is to focus on the arrest. And that's what I see a lot of the media doing at the moment, which is really, really interesting. And I do have a bit of a story about some of the media who I provided information to, which is lovely, but they don't seem to want to use that well, they want to use that information, but they don't credit the information, which is a bit of a frustration. One organization that I sent a email to, I sent it to, I think, over 40 people in the company. And I said that you are sponsoring Goliath Ventures. You are advertising them on your website. I sent an email to 42 people in that company, and that was on the 25th of September. And that company has only just in the last few days removed Goliath Ventures logo off their website. And this is like Orlando's economic business, well, some big business thingy. So you know, and now, so anyway, they published that this company is sneaking away slowly, and I'm going, well, hold on a minute. I just gave you an email that showed that that company was warned back on the 21st of September. It was, and you haven't even given credit to me providing you that email and all the people I sent it to. And not only that, I got one reply back from the company, and it was an auto responder saying they basically are away on holiday. But that's how frustrating it is for me. So a lot of the stuff we're covering, and just before I went live, I just wrote another letter back to Harry J. Samuels, who is the company that's been signing up all these LLC companies and filing tax returns. And he admitted to me that Nadia runs her own company, and she was the bookkeeper for Goliath Ventures. So he's admitted that Nadia is doing her own thing, running the bookkeeping for Goliath Ventures, and also working for him part-time, even though he's claiming that he's not associated with the company. And it's ridiculous. So we had a pretty good response with him, and I will actually put together a blog about his involvement, because we've done quite a deep dive. And when the company was moved from Florida to Wyoming, if you go and look up the Goliath Ventures in Wyoming and check out the administration setups, you'll see that Harry J. Samuels has actually got his email all over it. So I'll just put this dog down. Oi, there you go. Go so to bed. So lots of things are happening, lots of new stories are coming out, and lots of people are trying to back up the bus and distance themselves from Goliath Ventures. But we're not going to let them. We're going to expose everyone that we can, because it is a team that ran this event, not just Christopher. So in February 2026, Christopher Alex Delgado, Christopher, was charged with wire fraud and money laundering in a federal criminal complaint filed by Middle District, Florida. The affidavit outlines proposed 3 to 8% monthly returns, which is unheard of, guaranteed that the principal would be returns without distribution. I don't even know what that word is.
Diminution.
Diminution. I wonder what that word means. Without doubt. Hold on, I dropped my liquids. 1 minute. No, it's mine. Get away. Right. Anyway, what's your pause? And I didn't even know that word now.
Representations.
And representations that funds were being deployed into cryptocurrency liquidity pools. I can just about guarantee you that no one ever wants to hear the word liquidity pools ever again in their life. That prosecution will now proceed in federal court. But arrests are only one part of a large financial collapse. What that offers, I shouldn't eat licorice while you're doing this. It's not a good idea. Maybe I should wash it down with a beer. A minute. What often matters just as much, and sometimes more, is what unfolds in civil court. Who gets named, who does not, how liability is framed, and whether accountability expands beyond the central figure or remains confined to a corporate shell. In the case of Goliath Ventures, the second phase began before the arrest and then continued immediately after it. All right, the arrest everyone focused on, and the lawsuits that quietly shaped the narrative. So if we go back a wee bit, which has all happened pretty quick, on the 24th of February 2026, the Department of Justice publicly confirmed Christopher's arrest. For many investors, the announcements felt like a Validation after months of uncertainty and unanswered withdrawal requests. The federal complaint referenced liquidity pool representations, dashboard balances, and contractual promises of principal protection, language that mirrored what the investors have been shown inside the company. But while headlines focus on the criminal case, a parallel track had already been moving forward in Broward County Civil Court. And this is really interesting. Now, I want you guys to focus on, hello, Queen Akama, lovely to see you. Maybe I should get you to read my stuff. Right, so we got, this is how it worked, guys. Before Christopher was taken into custody, 3 lawsuits were already filed. That between them collectively, they've been seeking $55 million worth of alleged unpaid funds. And this was from people inside, well, not all of them are inside Goliath, because 2 other cases were inside Goliath, but you wouldn't figure it out. And that's because from our research, we discovered that one of the lawsuits was Nick's old business partner. Another lawsuit was somebody who bought a business from Nick. So they're all buddies. All got together and said, I've lost $55 million. Let's all do it together. So that's when the lawyer come along. But then one of our another lawsuit, the 4th complaint followed, and that was in between Christopher being arrested. So the investor didn't know where to go. He went to that firm. He went to like 7 or 8 different companies, and no one would take on the case. This particular lawyer said, I'll take on the case. And also, because we've done a lot of the work, it won't cost as much as other lawyers might who are starting from the ground up. So it made sense, and I get it. However, I've been telling the individual that he should be going after the partners. But there's going to be a conflict of interest if that happens, because Nick has now got that lawyer fighting his battles claiming foul, which is just ridiculous. So all 4 cases were handled by the same law firm, and that's Shaw. I don't even know how to say his last name. Everyone's got a tricky last name.
Shaw Luens.
Luens. Quite a nice name. Castle's beer. It's my favourite. All 4 were directed at Goliath Ventures, Inc. as a company corporate entity. All right. So all the lawsuits are just going for Goliath Ventures and Christopher. That's it. And they're ignoring everything else. So those 4 lawsuits, when I went to Orlando and I showed I showed the 3 lawsuits to media, they looked at it and said, oh, this is all in-house squabbles. And the advice I just got recently, about an hour ago, from a lawyer, he said they'll just squish all those. They'll just be stupid lawsuits. No one's going to take them seriously. Nothing's going to happen. They'll just get wiped out. And I think that's true. However, where does it leave the victims? Well, is Nick a victim? No. Is his business partner a victim? Don't know. Don't care. He just blindly followed, perhaps. I don't know. But I don't care. And was it the person that bought his old business a victim? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not getting into that. None of them were named the broader executive structure. None of those lawsuits named the broader executive structure that helped run the company during the expansion. So Chris didn't get $328 million by himself, did he? He had a whole lot of little, alpha people helping him. So they're all the scumbags that have now saying, well, I'm a victim. I didn't realize, basically saying that they didn't realize. So imagine being at home, right? And the door, you get a knock on the door and there's a lady standing there that you've met at the supermarket. And she goes, oh, hi, I'm just wondering if I can store this bag of money in your house. And you go, okay, well, if you want to, no problems. And then the next day she comes back again. She goes, I've got another bag of money. Can I put this with the other bag of money? And you keep doing this. And then she starts driving up the drive in like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce. And she keeps giving you these bag of monies. And you just put them in the back room. No worries. I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't need to know where that money comes from. You know, that's what that word is that we were talking about. So this is what they call willful blindness. So all these individuals that have been helping collect the money for Christopher have been now are going to try to, this is what they've been doing is willful blindness. And if you search what that means basically you can't turn a blind eye to something and not ask questions. They should be asking that lady, where did this money come from? Can you give me a receipt of who gave you this money? Was it illegally attained? And have you got KYC details, for example? And, and what happens if a policeman knocks on my door? What type of trouble am I going to get in if I have your money? And what do I get out of it? Well, they all got out of it, didn't they? Got things out of it. They got commissions. Every month, some of those boys, we heard, were getting paid $30,000 a month in commissions. We know that Christopher was co-signing for Ferraris for some of them. And now a lot of these boys we've heard have invested money in like real estate. They put a deposit down on new real estate developments thinking this is going to be their future because they didn't think for a minute that Christopher can't keep the money coming in on that level. They just thought he's going to go to infinity, no return. But you can't hide behind willful blindness. And that's what these guys are doing. So if you want my opinion, what I would like to see is, I've always said I'd like the 4 of them to go to prison, and that's Nick, Christopher, Matt Burke, and Piers Curry. And all the other LLC companies, they can sit here and say that they were blind and they didn't know what was going on, but they won't stand up in court because we've got other like-minded cases in historical court cases where it didn't stand up. So what's going to happen to all those guys? Are they going to prison as well? Well, we'd all like to see them go to prison, or we'd like to see all their assets seized. Anything that you can squeeze out of those stones, let's squeeze it. and let's make those guys pay. So when I saw this lawsuit, and he's only going after Christopher and Goliath, it actually made me vomit in my mouth, and I had to swallow it again. But it's disgusting. And I personally don't think that's the best legal way of handling the situation. Now, that's my opinion, and you can have your opinion, and that's what we do. So the role Nick Petrillo played and why it matters. Nick Petrillo was not a passive outside investor who simply placed capital and hoped for returns. He served as, get this, the chief operating officer of Goliath, second in charge. And that title is not speculative. It's not. It's on the website. It appears in the company's own structure and documentation. In one of the civil filings, he is referred in communications confirming withdrawal requests as late as 2025. So Nick was confirming withdrawals payments to people just back in 2025, precisely when investors were attempting to exit and access funds. So is this because we've heard other excuses where Nick says he didn't realise that he was given the title as COO. Can you believe that? Oh, you can't make this shit up. I'm just going to another drink of beer. We've got some comments in the chat room. Let's have a look at a couple of those while they're coming in. We've got Queen of Karma here. She's telling everyone to buy me coffees. That's right. People often criticise me because I ask for cups of coffee for my work when I'm trying to save people from losing billions of dollars or millions of dollars. It's quite ironic, really, but a cup of coffee does make a difference. I wish you could buy me beer. Now, it's 2:00 in the afternoon here on Sunday, so I'm having a quiet afternoon, but the information I've got is pretty good today. So, Chief Operating Officer are not administrative formalities. They reflect operational authority inside the organization. A COO is positioned between executive leadership and functional execution. The role carries oversight, is it coordination?
Coordination.
Coordination and awareness of internal mechanics. So that's pretty cool. Now, I did start talking about the chat room and then I lost it, didn't I? Shaw's lawsuit did not mention fraud or Ponzi scheme from what I've seen. Well, that's interesting. Now, where's the screen thing? Hello, where's that gone? There it is. Why has that got all funny and small? I'll just put you up there. You're all tiny, though. Surely we can do better than that. Let's see if we can make you bigger. Edit text. Let's make you, we might be able to make that better. I'll make you 24, and then I'll save it. But it didn't make any difference, really. Don't know why your text is small at the top there. Maybe it's just small, but I think you can see it now. So that was the question. Yeah, so I have got the lawsuit here, but I won't look at that now. I worked in social services. Do they think anyone who's a social worker work is free? No. So I don't expect any helping professionals to work for free. Right. Yeah, no one works for free. I don't even know why I work for free, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe I'm just one day going to be scooped up by, I don't know, somebody. All right, so let's carry on. This is quite a good blog. It's quite a lengthy blog. But beyond the formal filings, I've received repeated accounts from individuals alleging that Petrillo recruited or influenced a substantial number of participants into Goliath's structure. The figure is approximately 900 individuals, has been mentioned to me multiple times. Whether that number proves to be exact or approximate, the border allegations is clear. This involvement appears to have extended beyond passive investment and into active expansion. So he was part of the growth of the company and all the events they were at. When the Broward County lawsuits were filed, 3 before the arrest and the 4th after, the legal focus remained fixed on Goliath Ventures Inc. and the corporate defendant. The complaint relied on contractual language. I think that's right.
Contractual.
They cited withdrawal obligations they sought recovery based on the breach, but they did not name the chief operating officer. They did not name recruiters. They did not name affiliate entities that may have handed investor flows. They did not widen the defendant column to reflect the executive structure that had been publicly associated with the company during its growth. So if you went to, you can't go to their website now, it's been shut down. Let's have a wee look, eh? So that's Goliath Ventures website, right? Nothing. But you can go to archive.org, and you can hit that button or move that bus, and you can see this company. This is another thing I do when we look up websites. When we see a website that hasn't got much of a history. Now, they did start up another scam ages ago called My Liquidity Partners, and the domain name for liquiditypartners.com and Goliath Ventures were registered 20 days apart, and they used the same domain name register, GoDaddy, which sometimes we can look at patterns and see, forward thinking on how they do it. But anyway, my point is you can come to here on any website you want. You can normally find a timestamp. And here's Goliath Ventures website that might not be displayed like it normally is. But we use this for our open source intelligence all the time. If we go down a little bit, you'll see some of the technical stuff doesn't load. But I think there was a button down the bottom here that said meet the team, contact, blog, about us. Maybe it's them. And there we go. That may load. No, didn't load. So what I'm going to do now, getting desperate now, I'll put the link in that I want. Oh, it might not work either. Start again. But what we noticed over the last few weeks, they were removing people from the website one at a time. Except for Tomo, he was still there. So that's not going to work for us. But I do have a plan. I have a plan of attack. You watch this. This is how clever it is. / and let's go team. Our team. There you go. So now I've got the URL for our team. Now I can go back to the Wayback Machine and put in the exact address. There we go. So we have, interesting. So you can see that Nick was removed. So this was just a timestamp just before. Hello, Velvet. Lovely to see you here. Lovely, lovely. You can see Nick's been removed, and you can see Mike, Tomo, Putin Shaw. I might be doing a whole feature on him soon. And Marty, who, if you wonder where Marty's gone, is it Marty? What's this? Black. So have you heard of My Black Block? And you go to About. It's Matthew. So see these guys? So we found out some really interesting information about Matt Birks today, which I might actually be able to find. I'm going to show you just while we're getting distracted here. All right, so if you go back to my website, theheck.com, I have a link on my navigation that says utilities. And you'll see here one that's called broker check. So anyone that claims they're a financial advisor, you can actually look on here. And I think I've got it here already, but you can search for Matt Birk, and I'll have a look to see if I've got the right one. There it is. So if you're wondering about Matt Birk, all this orange stuff I was told means he's been a very naughty boy. And that means he hasn't got a license to do what he's claiming he was doing. His whole history is full of red flags. So he's been struck off multiple companies. I assume that's what this means. But if you come down here, he was been in the, so this is Matt Birk. All right. So all those people out there are still thinking Matt Birk's a lovely guy. There was a guy just recently, which I would like to find if he's handy. And he was hoping that his friend or his colleague is a good guy. I don't know where it is, but I will be showing him this page. Now, I'm a big believer of not trying to find this next time, so I'm going to actually do something. I'm going to hold the command key down on the keyboard, hit D, and now it pops up and I've got bookmarks, and I'm going to put Matt Burke's broker check. So if you were wondering whether Matt Burke was qualified to give advice, you can go to broker check and you can read all about their history. Yes, he was qualified, but if you look here, you can see that he's had all these judgments against him: 75,000, 13,000, 34,000, and he's been naughty. He's not a clean boy. So there he was representing a company, giving directions and all that sort of stuff. But that's just a new link we've found. But now you've got Matthew Meads working for Black Block, not Black Rock, but Black, so it just goes on and it's stupid. And I think Matthew Meads was in here somewhere at one stage, but he's gone as well. But what you can do with the Wayback Machine is you can click on different time periods and you can literally go back. So now we're going to go back previously. And look, here's Nick. So here's Nick, Chief Operating Officer, COO. Alex, fitness trainer. And there's our mate Matthew there now. There he is. So there he is, all there. So now he's jumped ship. And you can see Hunter Smallback. I thought I had his phone number, and then he told me I got the wrong phone number. And then when Christopher was arrested, he messaged me. So now I know I've got the right phone number. Vince, he was in here, Director of Partner Services. So there's the team. We need to remember this, don't we? So when they went after Chris, they didn't widen the defendant column to reflect the executive structure that had been publicly associated with the company during its growth. Instead, they targeted the shield, suing the contracting entity. I'm going to read that because I can have another drink of beer.
Suing the contracting entity in a breach of contract action is not unusual. That alone proves nothing. But when documented, insiders with operational authority remain outside the caption in a collapse of this magnitude. The decision becomes a matter of strategic choice, not inevitability.
And strategy is, in civil litigation, determines who ultimately bears exposure. So this is where shit gets good. So what I'm getting at, guys, why I've written this blog, and I think it's important, is I've got one civil case which I believe, with my hand on my heart, is set up to mislead people and make it even harder for people to do a lawsuit against Christopher. And then we got a federal a case filed in the federal court, and they went after everybody. And this is the lawyer that I would be picking to use if I was looking for one. So you can go to my website, click on that document, which I haven't linked through, which I'm going to. I'm going to be naughty. I'm going to fix that up right now. So if you want to go to that blog, you can actually go there and have a look at it. I'll put the link in the chat room. Could we record live? If you're watching in the rerun, you need to go to dehec.ludar.com and here. So for some reason, I forgot to link that through. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to grab that link. I'm going to click on that button there. I'm going to add that link there. And I'm going to make it so it opens in a new window there, update, and we're done. Now I come down here and I go update. And once that updates, we will be back to normal. View the post. What are we doing? And here we go. We're away again. It's a bit bigger so you guys can see it. Right. So let's have a look at this one and see why I think this is good. A tale of two legal approaches. The contrast sharpened when examining the federal civic action filed on February the 18th, 2026, 6 days before Christopher was arrested. The lawsuit filed in the United States District Court for Middle District of Florida by Prestige Florida Property Investment LLC, and we've researched the guy behind it. He's quite a prominent guy in society, and it was quite neat to see somebody doing that. And if you think I didn't see you in there, Crypto G, I did. Just hello. Echo. Hello. Am I echoing? You're not telling me I'm echoing. I'm not echoing, am I? Hope I'm sounding all right. Don't think I should be echoing. Just in case I am. Oh, there it goes. Microphone's back. There we go. Good. I just took the echo button off and on. That resets it in case there is, I think that word was echo. Anyway, so they named Goliath Ventures, and they did the Florida and they did the Wyoming entries. Christopher Jonathan Mason, Eric Clayton, and Black Block, not to be mistaken as Black Rock Management Solutions. And also there's another version of that same lawsuit. So you can come in here and you can see all the people that this lawyer went after. And that's what a good lawyer should do. So we've got Black Block Management Solutions, LLC, and then AKA their known name, Black Block Management Services. So they were trading as a known name. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, that's brilliant. And I was actually literally in Orlando at the time. And I remember staying in the swankiest hotel I've ever stayed in my life. I had felt like I had the bottom floor all to myself, but I had the media suite where media could come and interview me if they wanted to, which was really, really nice. And I did actually talk to 3 different TV channels while I was there. I've been interviewed 6 times now by major news outlets, but no one's actually said anything about me. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's my beard. My new beard's not good enough. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. We'll get there eventually. This was not a narrow breach of contract complaint. A narrow breach of contract complaint. The alleges a massive cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme, asserting violations of the Securities Exchange 2034 Rule 10b-5, know exactly what that means, Florida securities law, the sale of unregistered securities, civil conspiracy, fraudulent indictment, and deceptive trade practices. So this lawyer had basically gone for the whole 9 yards. It treated the joint venture agreement as an unregistered security. It alleged that the guaranteed 4% monthly returns were knowingly false. It alleged that representation was about insurance, reserve, liquidity were materially misleading. It alleged coordinated, I don't even know what that word is. Is it lulling? Lulling communications as structure began to collapse. Lulling. I wonder what that word means. Okay, let's have a look. Probably not a good idea for me to put my chat GPT on there, but let's have a wee look. I just wonder what this is. What does mean? Okay, that'll be right. Oh, look at everyone looking at my left-hand bar. Oh, make it hard for you. Okay, so let's have a look. Lulling means, here we go.
Lulling means calming or soothing someone into a relaxed or false sense of security, often so they don't notice danger or problems. It comes from the verb to lull, which means to quiet, calm, or make someone feel safe and comfortable. It can be used in 2 main ways. Literal meaning, soothing or calming. The sound of the waves lulled me to sleep. The waves gently relaxed you. Figurative meaning, lowering someone's guard. The scammer used small early payouts to lull investors into a false sense of security. People felt safe and confident, so they didn't see the risk. In scam investigations, you'll often hear about lulling payments, small returns given to victims to make them believe the scheme is legitimate before asking for more money. If you'd like, I can also explain.
No, I don't like you doing that. Now, I just realized that one of my dear Avengers has actually told me what that means in the chat room. So that's quite funny, really. So it's all on top of the screen. So it's like tickling a trout or calming the farm, Danny's term. So that's amazing. So that's what they did. So isn't that a fantastic start to a lawsuit? Within the same week, 2 legal strategies were unfolding in parallel. The Broward County filings handled by Shaw, I'm not going to say his name. Has he got, what's LLP mean? I never know what that means, but let's go.
Shaw UN's LLLP.
Confined liability to Goliath Ventures, Inc. as the corporate defendant, focusing on contractual obligations and unpaid balances. So they're not after justice, really. They were just after the money, in my opinion. The February 18th federal action did not oppose. It widened the scope. It named individuals. It named corporate officers. It named external counsel. It named the entity responsible for the so-called independent valuation report. Now, just if we go back to Matt Burke there, here's Matt Burke, and here he is with a trail of destruction on everything he's done. So all these orange things here are him losing in court for not doing something he shouldn't have done. And this is Matt Burke, who was given direction to Goliath Ventures. And if you're not familiar with Matt Burks and you want to know this video, it's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. You go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/DHeck. I'll make everything so easy for you. Click on videos and you come down here until you see a whole group of partners and scammers standing in front of something. Here it is. So you see that there? That's the video you want to look out for. So they're all dressed up, and that time they spent $500,000 on their Christmas dinner. The next year, they just put another zero on the end of it, spent $5 million. But you come in here and you look at this video here.
Exactly. Caveat.
Oh boy, hold it. We just stuffed that up. Let's go back. Is that going to come back? After all that, I stuffed up. That was just Murphy's Law. There we go.
Exactly. Caveat though, too. They are required. This goes into the legal protection and also the consequences. They're required to meet with Eric, our attorney, and sign an NDA and confidentiality agreement because you
hear what he's saying there. So Eric Clayman, their attorney, he's admitting it. You need to get everyone that wants to join Goliath Ventures to sign an NDA. And the three people that you might have just saw briefly there, which we'll go back to, there's Piers Curry with the man that looks like he's wearing a wig, Matt Burke, and Aaron. And these are the same people that you'll find. I'm going to shut some of these down so I don't go back to them. So there's Aaron there. Now, we hadn't seen much of Aaron until the other day, but listen to what Chris is saying in the background.
Yeah, let me caveat that. So they're employed through your LLC, they're paid through your LLC, that's what your deal with that. Exactly. Caveat though, too. They are required. This goes into the legal protection and also the consequences. They're required to meet with Eric, our attorney, and sign an NDA and confidentiality agreement because you are giving them access to client data. And so if they are not signed by that, that is another strike that'll go against you. So anyone who
earning commissions needs to also go
correct,
through the whole process.
correct,
background checked and everything.
and if they are not at fault. If they do anything, we will come after you for not following protocol. Got it? So anyone who has access to any client data needs to be under an NDA and a confidentiality agreement starting March 1st.
What about somebody you give commission to, but they don't have any access to any client data, just for referral?
Just still NDA them.
Yeah.
Just it.
So if you listen to this with a fine-tooth comb now, he just said, how about someone you give commission to? Do they still need to sign up for an NDA? Now, I hadn't actually heard that before. So every time we listen to that, so what they're actually saying, they're paying commissions to people who refer people to them. And all these, this is so amazing because there is a part in here that you have to listen to. And if you are going to watch this video, you want to go more, and you want to come down to the part where they talk about LLCs, and listen to this.
Establish their own LLC to do business with Goliath. So instead of individuals, you'll have a company. Creates a legal barrier. It's a limited liability company, which is good. The other thing that it does is it creates a clean way for you to be paid by Chris to serve your clients, which are ultimately Goliath's clients, right?
So you're going to set up your own company. You're going to pay your downline through your company. The customers that are in your downline are still Goliath Ventures customers, but there's going to be a legal barrier between Goliath Ventures and your company, and that's going to protect you. So a lot of these guys are saying they're innocent at the moment, and they didn't realize that they were innocent, but these guys have actually gone out there and formed a company to handle the money of Goliath. And this is just unheard of. And this video is going to condemn anyone who thinks that they were innocent, because how stupid are you? So if you've set yourself up an LLC company under their direction, you would wonder who Matt Burks is, and you'd wonder who Piers Curry is. Well, Piers Curry's got no license. He's unregistered financial advisor. He's nobody. He's just a man that may have held a registered license at one stage, and now he has nothing. Now, we've just shown you Matt Burke's qualifications, because you can see he's got all these orange biggers here, which is basically saying that he is not, he's got no qualification. He's not previously registered broker. Previously, look at this, previously registered advisor. And then here, an investor an individual or a company that paid for providing advice about investments to their clients. Previously registered, that means he's not qualified. Now, I haven't looked up this before myself. My Avengers normally give me this information. We'll carry on listening for a little bit more.
In servicing them in this structure, it sidesteps a bunch of regulatory stuff that de facto turns Goliath into a fund. Goliath is not a fund, so we want to avoid that language. But if you say you're a fund and you get paid like you're a fund, when someone knocks on the door, they're going to go, it's definitely a fund.
Yeah.
And it opens up a whole host of worries for all of us from a
and I
regulatory
bet
standpoint. So we
worrying
do not
now.
want that.
The LLC protects you guys as well.
Yep.
Honestly.
And just to clarify, what was the correct word instead of fund?
Oh, so, okay, yeah. Joint venture private fund is what, when someone says, what is Goliath? It is a joint venture private fund. That is actually what it is called. Yes. Joint venture private fund. So
It's not
you can't say
standalone
investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't say investment. You can't say investment fund, hedge fund, joint venture private fund. Yeah.
You know, and here they are telling people not to say it's an investment company. And then if we did that, I don't know if I can do this quickly, but if you go all the way to the end of this here, they put up a disclaimer, and it has the word investment through it, all the way through it. So I just don't know whereabouts that was, but it might have been way at the very start. But it was a disclaimer that basically said that they were an investment company. It was absolutely the contradictions in this very video is one of my Avengers found this and gave it to me, and we didn't really realize how brilliant this was until we so here we go here. From Goliath Ventures February 2025 program, we are thrilled to announce a major accomplishment and set a new benchmark with the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. First of its kind insurance coverage. So this is where they're offering insurance. The strategy partners have enabled. I'm going to help read this right. So this is unheard of because it is unheard of. This is too good to be true because it's not true. You know, it's give me a second. I'm going to get that read. I just have to do it my way for that. So let's see if we can go. Yep, let's have a listen.
From Goliath Ventures February 2025, partner. We are thrilled to announce a major accomplishment that set a new benchmark in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. First of its kind insurance coverage. New strategic partnerships have enabled us to secure insurance coverages that are rarely seen outside the realm of traditional finance. These policies represent a game-changing way forward that protects our partners and their investments. Coverages include protections against digital encroachment, third-party security breaches, employee theft, transit risks, and even errors. These protections address critical vulnerabilities that are often overlooked in the blockchain industry. Screenshot the 1st of March 2026 at 2.37.32.
Don't think you need that, but there you go, because they talked about insurance, and when you looked at their contracts, it said if you want information about the insurance, you had to email them. All lies, guys, all lies. That's what they did, and that's what these companies do, and this is not going to be our first radio, so let's educate everyone. Okay, so now we'll try and find the disclaimer thing I was originally doing. So there it is. Let's go. I'll just go play for a bit, and it should turn up. Is that working? Doesn't want to work. I want to do this. That's it there. I don't know. There it is there. All right. So what I'm actually going to do. Hold up. I know this is painful, but I think it's important as well as painful. So I'm just going to copy all that information there, and then I'm going to do what I did before. I don't think we're going to read it because I think it's really important that you realize that this company was claiming they were not an investment website with their words, but then they contradict themselves. So let's see if we can read all this. Let's have a go, okay?
Important information. Disclaimer and confidentiality notice. The presentation is for informational purposes only and is not intended as an offer to sell, a solicitation to buy, or a recommendation to invest in any security, financial instrument, or digital asset. The information contained herein is provided solely for discussion and does not constitute investment, legal, regulatory, accounting, or tax advice. Recipients should conduct their own due diligence and consult with professional advisors before making any financial, legal, or investment decisions. Regulatory compliance and risks. This presentation may contain statements related to blockchain technology, decentralized finance, DeFi, digital assets, or tokenized lending instruments. Blockchain-based financial products may be subject to evolving regulations by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), Commodity Futures Trading Commission (CFTC), Financial Crimes Enforcement Network (FinCEN), and other global regulatory authorities. As such, there is no guarantee that current legal frameworks will remain unchanged, or that our products will not be subject to additional licensing, registration, or compliance requirements. Any potential offerings, including tokenized financial instruments or digital lending products, may be classified as securities under applicable laws, which could subject them to regulatory oversight. The company does not guarantee compliance with future regulations and assumes no responsibility for any legal consequences arising from participation in blockchain-based financial activities. Forward-looking statements. Certain statements in this presentation may be considered forward-looking statements within the meaning of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. These statements involve risks, uncertainties, and assumptions, including but not limited to the regulatory landscape for blockchain and digital finance, the adoption and performance of decentralized lending models, market conditions, interest rates, and macroeconomic factors, and technological advancements, security risks, and competitive developments. Actual results may differ materially from those anticipated in these statements, and the company undertakes no obligation to update or revise them. Confidentiality and restrictions. This presentation is strictly confidential and intended only for the recipient. It may not be reproduced, distributed, or disclosed in any form without the prior written consent of Goliath Ventures. Unauthorized distribution may violate securities laws and subject the recipient to penalties. The company does not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any information presented herein. The contents of this presentation are subject to change without notice, and the company assumes no obligation to update any information. No warranties, express or implied, are made regarding the suitability of any investment opportunity. By accepting this presentation, the recipient agrees to maintain the confidentiality of all information contained herein, conduct their own due diligence before making investment or financial decisions, and assume full responsibility for compliance with applicable laws and regulations when engaging in blockchain-based financial activities. For additional information regarding legal, regulatory, and compliance matters, please contact Goliath Ventures or refer to applicable regulatory authorities. GoliathVenturesinc.com. The Goliath.
Yeah, so you get the idea. But anyway, if you ever are going to look at another financial opportunity, all I did is I took a screenshot of that, chucked into ChatGPT, and I said, please highlight the red flags. And then you can go through each section and make an informed decision.
Informational purposes only while clearly pitching. The presentation opens by saying it is not an offer to sell or solicit investment, yet it references securities, tokenized lending instruments, digital assets, investment opportunities. When a company heavily discusses financial instruments but simultaneously claims it's not offering anything, that's often a liability shield, not transparency.
Yeah, and so, you can get a lot of insight just by doing your own ChatGPT
Heavy
research.
emphasis on regulatory uncertainty. They explicitly mention SEC, CFTC, FinCEN, global regulators' evolving regulations. They also state there is no guarantee legal frameworks will remain unchanged, and that products may require additional licensing or registration.
It's unreal, isn't it?
They are acknowledging the possibility that what they are doing may fall into securities territory or may not currently be compliant. That's not reassuring. It's preemptive legal distancing.
Yeah, administration of products can be classified as security. That's a big one. They, so now hindsight's a great thing, I
They
know,
state
but
offerings
don't
may
look at
be
that stuff, eh?
classified as securities under applicable laws. If a company is raising money or offering yield-based digital instruments and even they admit classification risk, that's a serious compliance red flag, especially if they are not already registered.
Remember, I just took a screenshot, chucked into ChatGPT and asked it for the red flags.
4. No guarantee of compliance. They say the company does not guarantee compliance with future regulations, assumes no responsibility for legal consequences. In plain English, if regulators step in, they're telling you up front you're on your own.
And that's what's happened. Isn't it just incredible? No guarantee. Yes, what we've got, might as well read all these now we've done it. This is their own stuff.
Broad forward-looking statements protection. They include language tied to the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. This clause is commonly used by public companies to shield themselves from lawsuits when projections fail. When used in private crypto/DeFi presentations, it can signal aggressive revenue projections, promised performance, speculative growth claims. It's often there to defend against claims of misrepresentation later.
Oh, I don't know if you want to hear all this, guys. I'm not rubbing salt in the wound, but look, I do this for a living and I'm dyslexic and I can't read and write. And I just use technology to inch of its life. I just took a screenshot of something and chucked it into ChatGPT and wrote 3 words. Red flags, please.
Confidentiality restrictions. They state the presentation is strictly confidential, cannot be reproduced or distributed. Unauthorized distribution may violate securities laws. This is often used to discourage whistleblowing, limit public scrutiny, prevent the materials being shared with regulators or critics. Legitimate investment offerings typically rely on regulated disclosures, not secrecy warnings.
Yeah. No warranties, no accuracy, no guarantees. They explicitly state no guarantees of accuracy, no guarantees of completeness, no guarantees of reliability. So they effectively saying, don't rely on this. That's not exactly confidence inspiring for an investment presentation. Let's go. We might as well, we didn't come this far to only come this far, so let's carry on. The burdening of the entity, is it?
The burden is entirely on the investor. The recipient must conduct their own due diligence, assume full responsibility, accept compliance risk. Meanwhile, the company assumes no obligation to update information, no liability for regulatory consequences. This imbalance is common in high-risk and regulated crypto fundraising environments.
Overall pattern with what stands out is the repeated effort to distance the company from regulatory responsibility, distance the company from legal liability, shift risk entirely to the investor, preempt defeat against future enforcement. So let's just do the last 3 paragraphs.
This type of disclaimer doesn't automatically prove wrongdoing, but it strongly suggests the company knows it is operating in a high regulatory risk environment and is preparing for potential scrutiny. When a presentation spends this much time protecting itself legally instead of clearly explaining licensing, registration, or regulatory approval, that's a red flag worth taking seriously. If you want, I can also break down what language would normally appear in a properly registered securities offering for comparison.
Well, we could do that one day, ChatGPT, but we don't really need to, really. So now we've learned a few new things today. So the theory confines, back to the blog, one theory confines exposure to a corporate shell and the other one assets responsibility to the structured, what is that word?
Promoted.
I don't know any of those words. Let's just, I think I've already read that paragraph anyway. So the billion dollar statement and the burden of proof. So this is interesting because we've got 2 lots of lawyers at the moment. They've got my heroes and we've got this lawyer that I believe could be protecting Nick from getting into trouble. So there was a 360 a Law 360 article that come out, and there's one paragraph in here. I just wanted to show you the length of this paragraph, but I also wanted to show you one key statement. There we go. It says, this is it here, and it says, I have a can of beer in my hand, right? Have reason to believe that there are hundreds of millions, if not close to a billion, locked up among other participants. Now, does that mean that everybody that's involved collectively would have $1 billion worth of assets? And he believes that it's able to get that money back. Now, from my perspective, anybody that was fooled into investing in Goliath Ventures don't want to say the sharpest tool in the shed, but maybe they don't do due diligence. Well, maybe they don't notice subtle words and what they mean. So have reason to believe, in my opinion, would actually be insinuating there is actually $1 billion locked up somewhere and it's not all gone. I can't read that any other way than he says they have reason to believe. Now, that's a very tall statement, and I think that is disgusting. I've said this multiple times on other broadcasts I've done. So the $1 billion statement, that's why we've got a whole paragraph to break this down. And the burden of proof. In coverage reported by Law 360, the council was quoted as saying, have reason to believe that there are hundreds of millions, if not close to $1 billion, locked up amongst the participants. So they've all stashed their money away, and there could potentially be $1 million out there. So that, in my opinion, is not a casual statement. It is a claim of extraordinary scale, suggesting that funds far exceed the $328 million reference in the federal criminal complaint may exist in the ecosystem. So you've got the government going out there spending months and months and months. The fastest criminal complaint in the history of the head investigator said he's done this for 20 years, and this is the fastest anyone has ever been charged with a criminal activity. Oh, hello, Susie. Lovely to see you here. So this lawyer, and I'm going to go down this track a couple of times until you get it into your head, is suggesting that the government is making a claim that there was $328 million through bank accounts, Coinbase, Bank of America, JP Morgan, wherever it is. They have managed to track a business that has brought in $328 million. However, there is a lawyer out there claiming that he has reason to believe that there is hundreds of millions, if not close to $1 billion, locked up amongst participants. So what does that message send out to people who perhaps have already made a wrong decision? It's given them that lifeline of hope. I would go to the lawyer who thinks he's got $1 billion. So that's why we now have 4 court cases filed with this lawyer. And I don't want to see one more court case filed with this lawyer. Now, the easy peasy thing for him to do is to basically put your name on top of the contract he printed for the last guy and put you in the circle of another lawyer. So that's what they're doing, right? It's not rocket science. That's what I believe he's doing it. And also, there's more. When a lawyer says that they have reason to believe something of that magnitude, a natural follow-up question arises. What is that reason? Is it based on forensic accounting, documented bank records, sworn financial disclosures, court-filed asset tracing, or blockchain analysis? I'm going to get them read again because I'm going to read it so you get it into your head. This lawyer has made a claim that I can't process, and I can't think of any other reason why he's doing it. And I'd love your feedback as well.
Is it based on forensic accounting, documented bank records, sworn financial disclosures, court-filed asset tracing, blockchain analysis?
Because reason to believe is not the same thing as evidence filed in court. But people don't hear it that way. In the aftermath of an alleged $328 million Ponzi scheme, statements suggesting recovery pool approaching $1 billion carries enormous psychological force for investors who have suffered loss, and suffered is a horrible word, suffered losses. That number does not simply inform, it inspires hope. Hope that funds are frozen but intact. Hope that assets are recoverable. Hope that damage may not be permanent. It gives people hope. And I can't say it any other way. Hope influences decisions. It influences what legal strategy investors align with. It influences what law firm they choose to trust. It influences whether they believe recovery is likely or remote. But extraordinary figures require extraordinary transparency. So normally I say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but I didn't write that paragraph. But that's what normally I say. The Department of Justice criminal complaint references approximately 328 million raised. The Broward County Civil Court seeks tens of millions in alleged unpaid balances. As of this writing, there is no publicly filed forensic accounting with those cases sustaining the existence of $1 billion reserve or locked up asset pool. When numbers of that magnitude are introduced without corresponding evidentiary filings, they shape exceptional, what's it called? Shape expectation long before they are tested. In complex financial collapses, expectation can be more strategic. Sorry, I'm going to read that again because I'm a bit maybe it's the beer.
In complex financial collapses, expectation can become strategic.
Yeah. Now, for what have Susie got there? It says for. Let's read what Susie says.
For money's owed to him, so this way his partners and others can see he has no involvement in the company.
Yeah, so that's what Nick's trying to do
He
here.
has hired legal counsel to protect him against the lawsuits. His counsel suggested for him to resign and also send a breach of contract lawsuit to GVI.
Yeah, so he resigned and then he put this breach of contract lawsuit in there, and now they're asking victims to come forth and lodge. But because there's a conflict of interest, Nick isn't going to get sued by the same lawyer, even though the lawyer is making it affordable for people to put in a lawsuit, and people are actually saying, well, it's better than nothing. I don't believe it is, but I get it. Because in civil litigation, optimist does not secure judgment, evidence does. Broader professional circle. All right, the civil filings surrounding Goliath Ventures do not exist in a vacuum. In separate litigation involving Wall Lottery Ventures, the same law firm, Shaw, appears in court records connected to preservation demands. I'm going to read this because it's quite difficult for me to read. I'm going to read the next two paragraphs, but we did have some information come to hand, and we've put this in this blog for a reason.
Appears in court records connected to preservation demands, subpoena disputes, and objections related to document production. Within those materials, the name Harry M. Samuels surfaces in connection with LLC structuring and financial record issues. Objections were filed seeking to limit disclosure in those matters. On their own, those filings do not establish wrongdoing. Lawyers routinely defend clients aggressively. Accountants routinely structure entities.
Right. So Harry M. Samuels saw this in my blog today, and he's written out to me this morning, and I've written back to him again. He's written back. I've written back to him again. He's basically saying that Nadia is on his website, has her own company, does her own work, but subcontracts back to him every now and again, and he's just done no wrong. And he wanted to clear up the facts, but I've come back with some really good information, and I will actually do a blog all on Harry Samuels because it really is important. He also helped them set up their company in Wyoming, where his email addresses and all the admin correspondence, and he also, would you believe, does the filing for a lot of the people. So he's saying he's the accountant and he's saying that he's got no involvement, and he said that he's done everything correctly for these guys. But we've actually tracked over 500 companies that he's set up on behalf of other people in general. We actually have a map, Harry, of all the companies that you have set up, and we've got that in our database. We've been researching you for a long time, and I'm just going to leave it there and leave it to your imagination. But just put the razor blades down. That's your fine. So why I mentioned that is there is a history between everyone. So we just found out that Matt Burke, we put him into this, let's look up broker check, and we found, have you seen these, Susie? And all these judgments here where he's 18,000, 11,000, 75,000, 13,000, 34,000. And here it tells you that previously registered broker, and he is not a licensed broker at the moment. So you can go have a look at that. So he was the guy that was providing all the peace of mind to everyone that was trying to structure their companies. And this guy has got a shady background here, and that's why he doesn't speak to us, doesn't talk to us. He's just hopeless. But now what we're finding is other people, other court cases, historical stuff is coming forward to us, and we can see that there's a trail of destruction with a lot of the people that have been associated with Goliath Ventures. Right, let's go. Let's read this.
When the same law firm and the same accountant appear across interconnected financial structures, and when litigation later emerges that narrowly frames liability around a single corporate entity, those overlaps become relevant context. They do not prove coordination. They do not establish misconduct, but they illustrate how tightly connected the professional ecosystem can be.
Yes, couldn't have said it better myself.
In complex financial collapses, professional networks often extend beyond a single company. Corporate entities, affiliated LLCs, advisory relationships, and legal representation can overlap across ventures. When those networks reappear in separate disputes, it becomes reasonable to examine whether litigation strategy is influenced by a broader web of relationships.
Yeah, so patterns are not proof, but financial investigations patterns are often where the deeper story begins. And I will tell you that we have been amazed with, there's a lot of stuff we can't tell you because we're still investigating it, but I'll give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of somebody who was involved with Goliath, and their job was something like cleaning the offices that they don't exist. Okay, so we let's just say the corporate cleaning company that comes in and cleans the company at night time was getting paid $80,000 a month to clean the offices. So that's not actually true because they didn't have any offices. But just imagine a cleaning company that comes in and cleans a small office, has got a cleaning contract with Goliath, and they're getting paid $80,000 a month. Now, to put that into layman's term, a cleaning company should be getting paid probably a couple of $300 a night, which would be maybe $9,000 a month. So this is what Goliath was actually doing. They were overpaying people just massive amount of money to do things for them, where people, were profiteering along the way. So I don't know if you noticed, there was a news clip on today, which is quite interesting. I'll just see if I can bring it up. Data downloads. Oh, is that going to work? No, Gundy Day, wrong one. I'll just do this one. Where we saved to downloads. Oh, actually, where do I go? Hold up, 1 minute, please, caller. I just want to see if I can show you the video. There's another video today, which is a poorly one. What do they call it? A poorly recorded one. But I do like. I can't watch these videos. You see.
What investigators are calling a Ponzi scheme at the hands of Goliath Ventures. The CEO faces federal money laundering and wire fraud charges. The big question, could charities and organizations that receive money from Goliath Ventures be forced to give that money back? Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb spoke with our WFTV legal expert who says the charities could be on the hook. If it's proven in court that bad money from Goliath Ventures was given to these organizations, then they might have to pay it back. Now, it's very early in prosecution. A lot of things could change, but we could see this unfold in the years ahead.
So I'll stop it there because I don't quite approve what was next, but you can do your own research on that. But ironically, this is where the news make me laugh, because that we busted that story way back. So if we go back to the bottom of my story here, there was, I think it was about, I'll be down here a bit more. 1 minute, please, caller. Is it going to show up? Let's try that one there. So we talked about clawbacks way back. I think I even remember it because we had two men that looked like the Men in Black. Boom. So if you are a charity and you're wondering what's going to happen with clawbacks, unfortunately, it's a no-brainer. Everybody that's profited from this will get clawed back. So funny enough, when we did this video, Jason Derulo had just come onto the scene. So we actually asked ChatGPT to create somebody who had very strong arms. And these men here are fighting over the profits that people have got or used. And here we talked about Goliath Ventures, Inc. collapse, clawbacks are coming, and arrests. So if you think you're sitting here pretty and you think that you'll keep your mouth shut, you'll probably be worse off than you would be by coming forward. Now, we've currently got 162 people of interest in our database, which we don't put on the screen anymore, but we've been going after this for quite a while. So this is just a brief statement from this previous blog.
Clawbacks, while profits are imaginary, in a Ponzi, U.S. law allows court-appointed bankruptcy trustees to pursue what are called fraudulent transfers. In plain English, if you withdrew more money than you put in, you're considered a net winner. And if you're a net winner, the government can claw back your so-called profits to repay the victims who lost everything. In the case of Goliath Ventures and Chris Delgado, a lot of money has been transferred not just in the form of profits, but in the form of kickbacks and other fraudulent conveyance deals.
Yep. So everyone, that's why everybody we meet, we're putting in the jigsaw puzzle. I don't care who you are, what you've done, whether it's good or bad. We had a lady reach out to me and she told me that she doesn't like her name being on my website when you search for her. Because a lot of the times that we've come down here, we've actually named and shamed individuals that we know have been involved. They've got their money out and now they're keeping their mouth shut. Now, you can just wait until somebody knocks on your door and play stupid. Or, as I said earlier on, you can sit here and you can say, I'm going to say I was willful blindness. Willful blindness. And that's not going to cut the mustard. So be willful mindless if you want, but it's not going to help you. Keeping liability narrow is the next section. Two of the civil lawsuits filed before Christopher arrested were brought by entities that had direct business relationships with Goliath ecosystem, the in-house. These were not detached retail investors who discovered the opportunity through advertising. They were participants connected to the operational structure of the company during the active phase. This context matters. When individuals or entities operating within the same ecosystem initiate litigation that focus on exclusively on the corporate shell, it shapes its own responsibility. It shapes how responsibility is publicly framed. It narrows the lens. It confines the battlefield. It determines the scope of exposure. Broader questions are often tested. Have I said that right? The scope of exposure before broader questions are often tested. I'm going to read that because I'm getting a bit funny. 1 minute, please, caller. Let's have a listen.
Viewed structurally, the sequence is striking. Lawsuits are filed by associated entities. The corporate defendant is named. The CEO is later arrested, and yet the broader executive structure, including operational leadership, remains outside the defendant column.
So you got all these guys here who are now saying that they didn't know what was going on. And we've got photos of these guys partying up, pissing away money like it's water. Alex has got a Ferrari. I know he's meant to have a Rolls Royce. Chris has got 2 Rolls Royces, a Ferrari, and I don't know if he's got a Lamborghini, but I think he's got a yellow Lamborghini or Ferrari. I don't know anything about Matt. He's gone quiet. Nice guy, apparently. Matthew and Matt. I don't know Mr. Fireman. He's a fireman. Steve Davis, well, I know he's homeless and he's put everything into it and he's feeling sorry for himself at the moment and has to find a new home to live on the 26th of March. Absolutely incredible. I might give him a ring in a minute and see whether he wants to talk to us. Should we give him a ring now? It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? I'll just see, make sure we've got everything available to do that. Let's see if we can give it, see if Chris, if he wants to talk to us. He probably can't talk to us because he's in the same house as Christopher at the moment. Let's see if he talks to us. How do we do that, Danny? Let's have a look. What's his name? Steve Davis. We'll try Davis. It'd be funny if he does pick up and see how he feels about it now, because he was a big talker a week ago, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Davis. Where are you? Davis. He might have banned me. Stephen Roger, Stephen Davis? Oh my goodness, have I really got that many? Stephen Davis. No, it can't be right. Let's have a look anyway. See if he wants to talk to us today. For some reason it doesn't seem to come through, that sound. It comes through my ears, but it doesn't go through. Steve Davis, you going to answer the phone? It's ringing. Anyway, you get the idea. James, Chris's brother, the travel lady who won't talk to us. Hunter Smallback. Wonder if Hunter was talking to us. Would you advise? Oh, let's have a question here. We've got a question from one of our subscribers, I hope. If you haven't subscribed, please do. In fact, while that's popping up, I'm going to make a button pop up that makes you look like you want to hit that button. Right, what was the question? It says, would you advise victims to report the doctors and nurses who recruited patients into the Ponzi to the Florida Health Department? 100% yes. Now, the reason I did this, back in New Zealand, where I am now, there is a company that's called the Hilton Group. And the Hilton Group had a guy that was a manager in the company, and he was the transport, what do they call it? Transport. He was in charge of it. He was a transport, what do they call that thing? Logistics, got it out eventually, a logistics manager, and he recruited 60 individuals from his company. And I reached out to that Hilton Group, and it was really hard to get a contact. And I said, I don't work within the company, but here's the guy's name. He's a logistics manager, and there's 60 people in the company that were encouraged strongly to sign up for a scam called GG. It was called GG Wealth Management, and they stopped paying people on the 25th of December, telling people that they had to top up whatever they had on the balance of the app where they thought they were rich by 20%. So they had $1,000 in there, they had to put $200 in, and then they could withdraw their money. And that was their exit strategy. And nobody got any money out, whether they put 20% in or not. Yeah, it feels good to make me sleepy. So anyway, long story short, I had 60 people who wanted to complain, and they took it seriously. And I don't know the outcome because of the privacy here in New Zealand, but I do know they wrote back to me, asked me all the proper questions. I provided them all the screenshots I could, and that person lost their job. So not only did they manage to make profits from sharing it to their colleagues, they put pressure on people. And the minimum investment for this one was only $500 US, but they actually managed to get that guy in a serious position, and it does work. So that would be an absolutely great idea. I think that if anyone in your profession tried to convince you to join up for anything, they're not financial advisors, and they're actually after the commission. And that's why we do what we do. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if we've gone off track here too much, but yes. So let's go. The structure carries the consequences. It influences public perception. It determines who is seen as central to collapse and who remains
peripheral.
It concentrates legal exposure on a single corporate entity and a single individual while leaving the other actors. So let's not leave those other actors behind, who may have held authority, influence, or recruitment roles examined in civil courts. Now, I don't think I can express that enough, but you think about this for a while, guys. Everybody says to me they've either got signatures or correspondence from other people. Now, I know Nick set up 20 Wong Ventures, and he also had the 20 Wong Ventures logo on the bottom of his email correspondence. So his sister was handling Christine, I think, maybe Christine Turner, and her husband, Jerry, which seems like a nice guy. They all have been handling the money. So, like for them to say that they're in charge of the money, for them to try to wash their hands free is just ludicrous. To be clear, it's not an accusation of misconduct by counsel. Lawyers choose strategies based on many factors: evidence threshold, asset recovery, calculations, judicial considerations, and what do they call it? Procedural timing. So I don't know the lawyer's strategy on actually only going after Chris, and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm probably not qualified enough to give you any authoritative hearsay. But from my unprofessional opinion and my Danny logic attempt, I can tell you I would not be using a lawyer who makes claims that there's $1 million locked up somewhere with no proof, and also not going after everybody, only going after one individual, which I don't think they're going to have a shit show getting any money back from Goliath, because the government's going to go after that money first. But the strategy has effect, and the effect has clear civil, what do they call that? I'm going to have to read it.
And the effect here is clear civil exposure.
Oops.
In a collapse of this.
Yep, Christine Turner, thank you. So far remained highly contained. In a collapse of this magnitude, that containment deserves scrutiny. So there you go. Fraud has more than one battlefield. When financial collapse reaches the scale alleged in the federal complaint, it unfolds across more than one arena. The criminal case is one battlefield, while prosecutors pursue alleged violation of federal law and determine whether conduct meets the threshold of fraud, while money laundering or conspiracy that proceeds is structured, I don't like words.
Evidentiary and governed by strict constitutional protections. But
but the civil arena is another battlefield entirely. It's where the responsibility is allocated or limited. It is where recovery strategies are chosen. It is where the scope of pressure is either expanded to include operational actors or confirmed to the corporate entity that signed the agreement. So what I was getting at before, and I stopped talking, is basically who signed your agreement. And I think it would be interesting to know. I don't think I've ever met any investor that was dealing with Christopher directly. All of them were directed under the partners, who used to be called executives. And then when you watch that Matt Burke video, we found out that they were all called partners and had to set up their own companies. So I haven't had anyone that directly dealt with Chris come to us first. So there could be a first on that one. If a civil litigation is in collapse of this magnitude, remains tightly focused on a single corporate defendant, while a broader executive structure exists during the company's expansion, it is reliable for investors to ask whether accountability is being fully pursued or strategically contained. So are they trying to contain things for Nick? We've tried researching a few things, but we can't tell you everything. But we have got a lot of documents on our desk, and we're sitting here scratching our head saying, well, in this case, this this law firm went really aggressive. And they did this right, that right, this right, that right. And over here, they seem like a bit of a passive, soft, mushy sort of lawsuit. And it doesn't add up. Why can you be so strong here and then so floppy over here? So it's a floppy lawsuit, in my opinion. But however, we have got the other lawsuit, which was first class. It enters the second phase of which liability is defined, negotiated, and sometimes narrowed long before trial testimony has ever heard. That does not make any sense. So hopefully you guys got that.
It enters a second phase in which liability is defined, negotiated, and
Thank you for the
sometimes
encouragement.
narrowed long before trial testimony is ever heard.
So investors deserve warnings during the growth phase. I've been going pretty hard on this one, guys. People don't realize. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning again. Some lawyer was ringing me and I didn't take the call. But once I got woken up, I should turn my phone off and I do all that sort of stuff, but I do like to keep it open for other reasons. But it just gets ridiculous. And then I wake up and I'm like, I'm absolutely buggered. Oh, and my partner wants me to go to the movies and be happy tonight. Last night I had to go out for dinner and act like I went thinking about Goliath all my life. I shouldn't say, but my partner takes photos and she wanted a model. So I was the model last night and I'm sitting there, I'm grumpy. I'm a grumpy mofo and I'm not happy and I'm tired. And I got home and wrote this blog and then went to bed about 1 o'clock last night. Got woken up again about 5 o'clock, went back to bed until about 7:30. And I just don't know if people realize I'm having an argument with a reporter because I don't like how she's reported things. I do get some funny stuff. I want to see if I can show you something, which is pretty cool. I've got a couple of fans, and I don't want to incriminate anyone here, so I'll be careful what I throw up on the screen. But let's see if I can. Don't think this will incriminate anybody. I don't think it will. I'm going to do it anyway, but I think you'll be right. I just want to get you an idea of. I'm just going to do this in another way just so I can show you something. Let's do that. Oopsie daisy. What do I do then? Wrong window, Danny. Reverse fix this view, separate windows. Alrighty, that's better. Right, that there. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, goodness me, this has been naughty. Naughty, all this so for your entertainment. Reverse close window view. All right, try this again. Okay, so I'm going to go. I just want to load it before I do it. Oh, it's gone. Where did we go? Where's it gone? I've got love hearts coming up on the screen. That's nice. But we do have a bit of fun doing this, guys. I mean, it's not all bad, but it is exhausting. And I did say to my Avengers today, are we crazy? And they wrote back and said, yeah, we are. We're absolutely friggin' batshit crazy. So it's really hard work, but it does pay off eventually, actually. I don't know. We'll become crime fighters. But all this for a picture that doesn't really mean anything to anybody. But I just think this sort of stuff makes me laugh, and it sort of makes me feel like that people do really like what we're doing. Right, I think I've got that sus. All right, I'm just making sure. All right, so this is totally off the cuff, and it's nothing cool. But this is the picture that one of my supporters have given me, and I sent them a message, and I've only started chatting to this individual recently, and then they said, I'm binge watching all your videos, and I'm going, oh, you must be in a bad way. But there we go. There's Danny sitting there on the wall, somebody's work office place, whatever it is. And I just thought that was really, really cool. I hope I haven't incriminated you, but I think that's really nice, and that's the sort of support that we need, and we really value, because it is actually bloody hard work, to be honest. Just saying, have I got to the end of that blog, or have I stuffed up by scrolling? Maybe I have actually got to the end of that blog. Am I going to torture you guys, make you listen to it twice? Fraud is more on Battlefield. No, we've said that. Investors deserve warnings. They deserve clarity during a collapse phase until the board executives band executive remain open, ask the questions, not reckless in response. I think we're just speed reading it now, aren't we? The questions every investor now needs to ask. At what point investors are no longer spectators, they are decision makers. I used to have a company, I used to have a pull-up sign, it used to be decision makers. If recovery is possible, And what remains uncertain? The question is not simply whether money can be reclaimed, the money of who will pursue it and how far they are prepared to go. And that's the trick, you see. If you're going to get a good lawyer to go after this money, you want to know how far your lawyer is going to go. I'm just going to send a message to this lawyer who's going to join us. I'm just going to say something. G'day, mate. I am live on the internet. I don't expect you to reply, and I won't play your reply back if you do, but I just wanted to tell you something funny. I gave your name to our Avengers, and one of my Avengers said, I reached out to them. So you would have already got correspondence from one of our Avengers already. I won't tell you her name because she has cover names. But anyway, they were quite excited that you actually have reached out to us and even booked some time with me. So that was really, really cool. The other thing is, if you want to, you're more than welcome to pop up and say hello on stage. But we look forward to hearing from you your Friday, my Thursday, and we'll see how things go. No, my Friday, your Thursday, that's right. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, one of our Avengers has already reached out to your company. So how cool is that? So there you go. So that's just a wee voice message sent off, and that's how I communicate. Makes my life a lot easier. You don't have to reply with a voice message. I prefer a text message, and then I can read it and reply again. Okay, so collapse. So we want lawyers that are going to go like a mofo. We want lawyers that aren't going to give up. We don't want lawyers that are only going to pick certain people to go after. We want them to go after the whole spectrum, machine gun these people down, so to speak. All right, so and we'll read this paragraph to get back in the mojo.
Or will the strategy expand to examine the broader operational network, the executives, recruiters, affiliated entities, and internal leadership structure that functioned while investor funds were flowing? This is not a rhetorical contrast. It is a practical one.
Yeah. So why not go after everybody that's been involved? Christopher didn't run the whole show by himself.
If liability remains confined to the corporation alone, what becomes of those who publicly aligned themselves with the company's growth? What of the partners who recruited participants, the individuals who managed downlines, the executives who held formal authority, or the affiliated LLC structures that may have handled investor funds?
Yeah, so this is the big thing. Those companies weren't just set up for no reason. They were actually distributing the funds from Goliath Ventures. Think about that. I don't know how not to say it, but to me, that's money laundering. Handling the money from one entity to another when it's not your company to shield people from legal obligations is what they said in that video. This is just disgusting. That's what
Multiple individuals connected to the Seeker system traveled, appeared at events, celebrated milestones, and positioned themselves as part of the company's leadership narrative. If any of those individuals exercised meaningful influence over recruitment, operations, or investor communication, then accountability logically extends beyond a single defendant listed on a civil caption.
Limiting exposure is one of the corporate to one of the corporate entities in a collapse alleged to involve a $328 million risk narrows responsibility in a way that may not reflect the structure that was publicly presented to the investors. So it kind of seems like what I think that I'm getting at here is the fact that this corporate structure was meant to make this thing look like a fortress. And now we see at the other end of it, when it's all fallen over like matchsticks or a house of cards, as I normally say, they're only going to go after one person. And that's the man that took the money and handled the money. They're not going to go after the guards. They're not going to go after the promoters. They're not going to go after the entertainers. Not going to go after the firemen who put out the fires when the fire brigade department. Because civil litigation strategies define the battlefield. It determines whether the net is cast narrowly or broadly. It determines whether responsibility remains concentrated or distributed across those who help build the and operate the machine. And the question is now unavoidable. Is your legal representation pursuing everyone who participated in the structure, or only the name that makes the headlines? Christopher. Are they just going after Christopher? The choice may determine whether accountability expands or quietly contracts. So there you go. That's my blog for today, guys. I just wanted to get that off. Now, I probably will be doing a story on Harry Samuels and his involvement, because he's now claiming he's not responsible for anything he's done, which actually amazes me. That's a copy of the lawsuit, which if you go through my website, you'll be able to find these lawsuits if you can't figure out how to get them off the Pacer network and all that sort of carry on. We've done previous blogs on things like clawbacks. I'm getting a lot of correspondence from people who are concerned they're going to get clawed back. I'm getting a lot of communication from charities, which I didn't used to get. There's a lot of people who have really put their neck out to help me present this information correct. There's a lot of people that have been involved in this, and then they claim that they weren't doing anything special. So, I'm just going to play this here because there's a lot of faces in here. There's Punit Shaw there. Here they are giving away 45,000 meals at a charity event, and they flew in a corporate helicopter. So if they were really, really nice and they were really strong, that's Goliath, you think that they would, do things completely different. Who are these bastards really, when you think about it? Who are these bastards that, I'm just thinking these pictures here. Who's that guy? Who are these bastards who have stolen money, going out to our communities, and I'll say our communities, and then that guy's got a Rolex, well, she's got a Rolex, and then stealing the money. This is what I want to know. These are the people that have been endorsing people in the communities, and introducing these people to different individuals, and they help build their network. So who should be accountable for that? It's just, to me, it's not right. And I want to expose anyone and everyone. So that's Dirty Doctor. That's Dirty Doctor in there. I didn't realize that. If I go back a frame, that's Dr. Doug. Doug's in there as well. So every time we watch these videos, we see these faces that we've become more and more familiar with. It's just unreal. So that's how it is. Now, I might actually call it quits there, and I actually might do a bit of Zoom busting, which I haven't done. So if you've been watching this episode, by all means, I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't need to reiterate the reiteration of the reiteration, but I would like to say that these guys are now phase 2, and that's when the lawyers fire up. And there is other phases and other ways to fight these battles. Like technically you could go after the banks, technically you could go after the people that insure these companies that were associated, and there are other ways to get your money out. Now, if there is any way to get recovery money, we'll find out about it. My Avengers and myself haven't really been at the stage where we're talking to victims on a daily basis. Every day I wake up and there's another couple of victims that are reaching out to us, and they're in dire straits. There are still people out there who still believe that Christopher is not guilty, would you believe? But they are slowly coming to terms with it. I just saw a photo which I'm going to put on the screen because I'm actually I'm just amazed by this. Oh, here we go. I'm going to see if I can do this. 1 second, please, call it. I just want to see how much seconds. So it's 5 seconds. Just go back. I'm just having a replay here or something, and then I'll bring it up on the screen once I get it right. So all the people that were involved with that Gundy Day have all lined up for a photo, and I just saw the glimpse of it. So I'm just going to put it up in a second if I get it. Oh, here it goes. 1 minute, please, and then I'll flip it over. Keep your pants on. There we go. Oh, not really. I do see something interesting. I do want to bring this up because I think this is quite interesting, just saying. But these are charities that these guys, today we packed 250,000 meals, and that was the Indian Chamber of Commerce. Now, I wrote to them and I told them that they needed to stop, they need to be aware that Christopher was running a large-scale Ponzi scheme and scam. And I mentioned that to quite a few people. But as you notice, these people are wearing Goliath Ventures T-shirts. I got one. Did you guys get one? Because now that T-shirt is worth everything that you put into it, isn't it? But anyway, all right, so let's call it quits there for this video, and I'm going to carry on doing some other stuff while I'm live, and I'll chop this off, and it'll be a new video. So if you've just tuned in and you just got your popcorn ready, we're over on this video. You'll have to go hunt. Now, if you can do me a favor, and that is hit the thumbs up of this video that you're watching. I should say that at the start, but there's a subscribe button. And you click that button, which I really appreciate. If you can't donate and keep us going that way, then by all means, just do something simple like that. Make sure you're logged in on your phone before you click that button. Otherwise, it won't let you. And every time somebody subscribes, I like to give back. So that sort of guy. So here's Sadie. She doesn't get paid anything for doing this job. It's about as much as me, really. And she will clean your window screen because you subscribe. So thank you very much for that. Right, we'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm still here. All right, so what we like doing and what the Avengers do is we cause disruption. And we do this thing where we go into Zoom meetings. And I haven't done it for a wee while because I've been so busy traveling to America and doing all those wonderful things that we thought we'd have a go at doing it today. So I wouldn't mind because I owe it to my Avengers. So what we do is we go into an Avenger, into a Zoom meeting. And today we're going to pretend that we are Christopher D'Argo. And that means I sign up here and I look for a Zoom meeting that is happening. It's like a wee game. Now, if you don't know what we're doing, you go to Zoom's terms and conditions. It tells you that you're not allowed to use Zoom to promote multi-level marketing. And multi-level marketing is a very dirty, disgusting swear word, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to WhatsApp and I'm going to... I won't play your voice messages, but where are we going? We're going to WhatsApp. Oh, and isn't it terrible about that building in Dubai? Isn't that terrible? Oh, I watched that this morning. I thought, oh my goodness. When is 30 days? Alrighty, so what am I doing here, Danny? I'm doing something interesting. Oh, that's right. I've got to look for my Zoom links just to make sure I have that open. Where are we? Oh, we haven't done this for so long. There we are. I'll actually go hello, so that goes to the top of the list, and we'll go hello. Alrighty, so we've got these Zoom links which we can open up. Let's go. And there we go. So we'll just get a couple of these going first. There's some of the regular ones that my Avengers has got. And we'll hit refresh and join with browser. So if you don't have Zoom on your computer and you want to do what we're doing and go into these Zoom meetings and cause havoc, you basically uninstall Zoom from your computer, go to a Zoom link, and it'll ask you if you want to view it via a web browser. Say yes, and if you get kicked out of these Zoom meetings, then what you do is you empty your cache and log back in. So what I normally do is I have 7 different browsers, and I usually, when I find a live one, as they say, I log in with 7 different browsers, and then we can cause havoc. Oh, there I am. 7 different times before they kick us out. So we'll just have a wee look. It's a bit late, but normally at 4 o'clock in the morning, or 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, there normally is people running Zoom meetings, which I think back home, most of the majority would be 8 o'clock at night. So have a look at that. We'll just get rid of these cameras. I'll be a bit jumpy for a wee while, but we only need to find one live meeting, and I'll show you what we normally do. So I've been doing this part of my business, my YouTube channel for quite a few years. And if you decide to start following what I do, then what I do, then what am I trying to say? It's coming out eventually. If you're trying to follow what I do, oh, you'll go into these Zoom meetings and you'll probably get accused of being me. So create your own identity, because I'm quite well known for causing disruption and mayhem in these meetings. So you'll see this in a minute if we find a live one. But in the meantime, unfortunately, I have to log into these meetings one at a time by clicking a button. That's why I have a lot of RSI. And some of these meetings have your cameras on before you go in there. So it's always good to keep your camera off. But let's see if we can find some live entertainment. We'll have a bit of fun. Oh dear. And yes, you can open up multiple Zoom meetings. That one you have to log into first, which we don't do because I don't have a Zoom account. Zoom banned me after getting sick of me reporting everyone. They decided it was just easier to ban me So even I can't log into Zoom. I don't have an account. Well, I do have another account, but it's very tricky to get yourself back into Zoom.
क्योंकि अभी तक आपके जैसा कोई लेडी एंकर तो है नहीं
Ooh, it's a
और मैं
lady
बहुत ही
one.
बढ़िया लगता है
All right, we've got
क्योंकि
something live here.
मातृदेव भव हमारे भारत में तो
181
माताओं
people.
का ही अभी धीरे धीरे दबदबा रहेगा और जो
Okay.
भी हो
I can
मैम
have the
इस
camera.
प्लेटफॉर्म से हम मतलब भले ही
It's
देर
in
हो
India.
लेकिन फर्स्ट लेवल हो चुका है लेकिन मैम एक छोटा सा डाउट
Okay,
था
so
कि
this is
अगर
actually
कोई
the biggest
बड़े
scam
अमाउंट से
going on in
शुरू
the world
करता
at the
है
moment,
तो
in my
पहले
opinion. It's called BG
तो
Wealth
अपना
Management.
प्रिंसिपल विड्रॉ करके फिर बाद में वो मैंने सुना है कि
They
300
disable the chat room, so
मिनिमम
you
रख
can't
के विड्रॉ कर सकते हैं तो ये
message.
बात क्या सही है
And they're telling
बिल्कुल
everyone
सही है,
if you
बिल्कुल
put
सही है।
$500 in, you're
यहाँ
going
कोई
to
पे
make
इमरजेंसी में
$500 within a month.
हाँ हाँ, नो प्रॉब्लम।
तो जितना बड़ा
इमरजेंसी में
अमाउंट हो
क्या?
All
एक
right.
बार डबल होने के बाद मतलब उतना अमाउंट
All
विड्रॉ
right. So what
करने के
I'm
बाद
going to
नेक्स्ट
do
टाइम अगर कोई
is I'm
विड्रॉ
going to
करता
go
है तो
and get
मिनिमम
another
300 रख
browser,
के
even
कर
though you
सकते
can't
हैं
hear it.
जी जी। अच्छा, यहाँ पे भी एक ख्याल आपको रखना है।
And I'm going to turn my camera
समटाइम्स हम
on.
लोग 1000 से ज्वाइन होते हैं तो हमारी जो अपलाइन होती है, देखो जैसे अपलाइन आपका ख्याल रखती हैं, आपको भी उनका ख्याल रखना है। कैसे रखना है?
Hold it.
आप शायद उनके, अगर आप 500 या 1000 से आए हैं तो शायद उनका $500 वाला स्ट्रक्चर
Now
बना
you watch
हो।
what happens when I
ठीक
go
है,
in here.
अगर आप इतने अमाउंट से आए हैं तो मिनिमम
There's
500
sometime.
रखें, क्योंकि जो स्ट्रक्चर
So if
बनता है
she's
31
asking for
लोगों का
500
बनता
US
है,
dollars
जिसमें कि
for
सबकी
people,
आईडीज जो होती हैं वो 500
and they'll
की
get a
होती हैं।
commission when people sign up.
राइट, तो उसमें अगर आप 500 से नीचे कोई भी एक पर्सन जाता है तो उनका वो पूरा का पूरा 31 लोगों की मेहनत खराब हो जाती है। ठीक है, तो अगर आप 500 या 1000 से आए हैं तो अपनी अपलाइन से बात कर ले कि क्या आपने 500 वाला स्ट्रक्चर तो नहीं बना रखा है,
Okay.
कि आपके पास कुछ लोग 500 के होंगे, कुछ 300 के होंगे, तो आप 300 भी रख सकते हैं। तो बस ये थोड़ा सा ख्याल रख के आपने विड्रॉल लगानी है।
There
अमाउंट
I
की
am.
कोई इधर कंपल्शन किसी को नहीं है इस तरीके की। ठीक है,
थैंक यू
और
Okay, I'm going to put my other camera
नेक्स्ट
on.
है हमारे साथ मकीबार रहमान,
Alrighty.
मकीबर मेहमान, सॉरी।
See if they put the.
हाँ जी, बोलिए।
Good
So I've got.
morning, ma'am.
गुड मॉर्निंग जी।
Good morning, all the participants. मैम आपका
Right.
जो एनकोडिंग है बहुत ही अच्छा है, सुंदर है और हम लोग आशा करते हैं कि
All right. So
आगे
now
भी
I'm
आप लोग
going to
ऐसे ही हमको
do this.
लेके जाएंगे। मैम मेरा
I open up
क्वेश्चन
another
वही
browser.
है कि मैं अपना आईडी, मेरा बीबी का आईडी भी ऑपरेट कर रहा हूँ। वो अगर 2 आईडी में ऑपरेट कर रहा हूँ उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आएगा क्या फ्यूचर में?
नहीं नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। प्रोफेसर
The professor.
बनाने के लिए भी
The professor. There's a guy that
कि
gives all
अब
the
आप
day
कर सकते
trading.
हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। ठीक है,
थैंक यू मैम।
हाँ जी, थैंक यू सो मच। अभी आप सब लोग तारीफ करते हैं, मुझे अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब आई एम बीइंग रियल जैसी मैं, अगर आप मुझसे वैसे भी मिलेंगे तो मैं ऐसी ही बात करती हूँ और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है,
All right.
क्योंकि
So now we're gonna.
मेरी मंशा ये रहती है कि आप सब लोग ना,
You watch
मैं आपको
this.
ऐसे नहीं
It
देखती कि
sounds
कोई
like she's saying
टीम
goodbye,
मेंबर है या कोई
but I'm gonna try something tricky.
मतलब मेरी तरफ से ऐसा रहता है कि हम लोग सब लोग पहले इंसान हैं, है ना, ह्यूमन बीइंग है। तो बीइंग ह्यूमन हमें एक छोटा सा थोड़ा इमोशन हमें
Collections,
हमें होना चाहिए,
favorites.
कनेक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए लोगों के साथ, और कंफर्ट होना चाहिए। सबसे बड़ी बात कि आप लोग जब भी अपनी अपलाइन को अप्रोच कर रहे हैं, किसी को अप्रोच कर रहे हैं,
All
तो
right. So let's
आपको
see.
सोचना नहीं पड़े कि अरे भाई उस आदमी से बात करूं कि नहीं करूं, पता नहीं कैसी मेरी अपलाइन है ना। तो वो कंफर्ट बना रहे, और मुझे
Okay,
खुशी
watch
होती है
this.
कि मेरी टीम में
So
भी
I'm gonna
मेरे
hold that
जैसे
on the
लोग हैं, सब
screen.
लोग, वो एनर्जी सब
Oh
में
no,
है
it's not gonna work. Hold
कि
up.
आपको सभी मतलब इतने प्यारे प्यारे लीडर्स हैं कि मतलब किसी की तरफ से अभी तक
Oh,
कंप्लेंट नहीं आया, बल्कि कुछ लोगों का ना कंप्लेंट हुआ था अभी पीछे प्रोफेसर के पास। उन्होंने कुछ एक्टिविटीज कर दी थी कि यहाँ पे कुछ टीमों के
hold
तोड़ने
up.
जोड़ने का कुछ लग रहा था वहां पे। तो किसी ने वहां पे मेरा नाम लिख दिया कि शायद वो पर्सन मेरी टीम से है। प्रोफेसर को जब मैंने क्लियर किया कि नहीं प्रोफेसर मेरी टीम,
Okay, where is it? Hold up. Where's the camera? The professor. I've got the wrong camera on. Hold up. I'll fix the camera up. No. Where has it gone? She's very simple. Oh, the camera's not working. Here we go. So this is interesting. Oh, look at this. Here we go.
If he's okay to talk with us, I'm giving you option to unmute.
G'day. How you doing?
Hey, where are you from? May I know?
Yep, I'm from New Zealand.
Okay, okay. With whom you are connected? Who is your upline?
I actually investigate large-scale Ponzi schemes and scams. That's what I do for a living. And
Okay.
I help government with federal warnings. And there's 6 governments around the world that have reported BG wealth sharing for running a scam. Oh, she muted me, and I've been removed. Isn't that funny? So they don't want to. That's quite cool.
I'm really very sorry about it.
Oh, she's sorry about
That's
it.
fine that if you're thinking something like that. And one thing I want to clear,
Here we go.
even if you think it's a scam, we are loving the scam because this scam is giving us a lot of earnings and our community is very, very happy here.
Oh,
So you
okay.
don't need to be
So when everyone loses their
worried
money,
about other people. Hope you will take care of yourself better. Good luck next time.
there she goes.
All right, हमारे साथ हैं यहाँ पर सुनील शर्मा जी.
Okay, here we go. We'll try
जी
another one.
सुनील जी.
So now they normally lock the room.
सुनील शर्मा जी हैं चिंतपूर्णी से. हाँ जी सुनील जी.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
गुड मॉर्निंग.
आज बहुत दिनों के बाद से कांटेक्ट हो पाया। आपने
Oh,
मेरे
terrible
को
mic.
unmute का ऑप्शन तो दिया, बट मेरे फोन में ही
Very bad
कोई
line.
ऐसी गड़बड़ थी जो अनम्यूट नहीं कर पा रहा था मैं।
ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम.
मैम मेरी आवाज आ रही क्या?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आ रही है जी.
हेलो,
हाँ शायद
मेरी
कल भी
आवाज आ
आए
रही
थे
है?
आप, आवाज नहीं आ रही थी तब आपकी. हाँ
Okay, so you can rename yourself. So that means I can
कैसे करवाया? मैंने कहा यार मेरी आवाज नहीं
very
है।
badly.
मैम अनम्यूट के लिए ऑप्शन भेजती है और मेरा अनम्यूट नहीं होता, तो अभी अभी करवाया मैंने। जूम पे चले हुए भी वो कैसे करवाया मैंने अभी ना।
All
अच्छा
right, here we
मैम,
go.
मैं 8 दिसंबर को ज्वाइन करा था बीजी में $300 से।
I'm going to
उससे
do
मैंने
this.
एक विड्रॉल भी दे दिया हुआ है। अभी मैंने एक डायरेक्ट करा, अच्छा लीडर मेरे साथ काम करने वाला। बट आपको मालूम ही है कि हमारे हिमाचल के
What
अंदर
am I going to do
काफी
here?
नेगेटिविटी फैली हुई है। बड़े सारे सिस्टम आए और स्कैम करके चले गए। शायद आपको भी इसके बारे में ज्यादा नॉलेज होगा।
जी 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 जी.
तो दीदी मैं दीदी कहूँ या आपको दीदी कहूँ या बच्चा कहूँ बेटा कहूँ, आप बुरा मत मानना। मेरी उम्र भी लगभग 68 ईयर
Here we
है।
go.
तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे को आप चंडीगढ़ में सपोर्ट करो। आप
Here we go. Wonder how long I'll last for.
चंडीगढ़ में मेरे अच्छे लिंक है।
Oh, he's not very clear. What do you...
हेलो
Oh, they
हेलो
removed me.
हेलो
हेलो हेलो. हाँ जी, आप चंडीगढ़ मिलना चाहते हैं, मुझे तो समझ में आया.
हाँ जी मेरी काफी अच्छे वहाँ मेरे अच्छे लिंक है, बढ़िया,
हाँ जी.
जो मेरे साथ काम
Yeah.
जो काम करेंगे। बट क्योंकि यहाँ से उनको काफी पहले हिमाचल के अंदर काफी बड़े स्कैम हुए, तो इसलिए वो लोग थोड़ा ट्रस्ट नहीं कर पाते। तो मैं
ओके.
चाहता हूँ कि एक बार आप मेरे
So
को
when
थोड़ा
did
सा
you
मौका
join? Did you
दीजिए।
join in
हम
December?
भी चलो आपके गुणगान करेंगे
How
आपके।
awful.
अच्छा ठीक है सुनील जी, मुझे बात समझ में आ गई आपकी.
हाँ
मैं
हाँ
यहाँ पर एक ही बात बोलूंगी आपको.
जी
देखिए, लोगों का विश्वास करना नहीं करना उनकी अपनी पर्सनल चॉइस है. ठीक है. आज अगर
ठीक। हाँ जी हाँ जी।
हाँ जी, मैं आपको थोड़ा म्यूट कर दे रही हूँ, आवाज कट रही है. मैं फिर से अनम्यूट का ऑप्शन दूंगी एंड में, मुझे अपनी बात खत्म कर लेने दें. ठीक है.
ओके
Oh.
हाँ, यहाँ पर देखिए जितने भी लोग हैं सब लोगों का
ओके
यही
ओके
सवाल
ओके।
रहता है। अभी भी एक पर्सन जो डैनी करके यहाँ पर आए हुए थे,
Danny?
ये भी कहीं ना कहीं से भेजे जाते हैं सेशंस को खराब करने के लिए, हमारी एंटी टीम से भेजे जाते हैं या कहीं से भी आते हैं, हमें उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है। ठीक है, क्योंकि मैं आपको ये चीज बताना चाहती हूँ कि बीजे के लिए नेगेटिव पर्सन मेरे से ज्यादा कोई नहीं है। कोई बाहर से आके कुछ भी बोले, हम लोग साफ सिंपली सबको साफ स्पष्ट शब्दों में चीजें बता रहे हैं। रिस्क
Positive investor.
हम लोग साफ बता के काम कर रहे हैं ना। अब जब हम लोग कहीं भी काम कर रहे हैं, हमारे मन को पता है हमने 300-500 इन्वेस्ट किया है और वहां कोई परेशानी आ सकती है, फिर भी हम लोग वहां कूद पड़े हैं। दे आर द लीडर्स,
The leaders.
दे आर द
I'll tell
अर्नर्स,
you about the scam.
दीज पीपल आर गोइंग टू गेट मनी।
Money.
जो डरता रहेगा उसके
Stupid
पास
people.
कभी पैसा नहीं आएगा। राइट?
You
अभी
said.
आज अगर आपको सब लोगों को बोलेंगे सबके पास
I'm going
कम
to
से
tell her I
कम
love her and I want to have
10
her
15
babies.
हजार 20 हजार का फोन होगा ही होगा कम से कम, और फैमिली के फोन्स मिला देंगे ना तो 40-50 हजार के फोन ही होंगे घर में।
Here we go.
लेकिन उसमें से भी अगर हम बोले कि आप छोटा फोन यूज कर लो, लेकिन आप 20-30 हजार रुपया कहीं इन्वेस्ट कर लो जहां पैसा बढ़
So
सकता
it's a
है,
fake
पीपल
exchange.
विल से
And
नो।
they tell people if you cut and paste something
वो क्या
3
है?
times a
वो
day,
माइंडसेट है।
you can
और
double
मैं
your
आपको
money
एक
in a month
छोटी सी बात बताना
and you
चाहूंगी
work your
जिससे
way
कि
up
सारी
9
बात ही
levels.
खत्म हो जाती है। छोटी सी भी नहीं है, बात बहुत बड़ी है, शायद आपको सोचने पे भी मजबूर
You guys
करेगी,
want to
और
join?
बहुत सारे हमारे यहाँ पे बैठे लोग उसको जानते भी होंगे, क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत डीपली इसको अंडरस्टैंड करके यहाँ पे सिस्टम में आए हैं।
Where's
और
the
एक दिन में किसी का दिमाग आप
oh,
बदल नहीं
there it is.
सकते। ठीक है, लेकिन आपको खोज जारी रखनी है। जो मैंने कल बात बोली थी, आपको भीड़ों में से
Right, want to
शेर
cause some
ढूंढना है,
disruption? Queen of
और वो
Carmel, what are you
शेर
doing? Get
बैठा
your
है
ass in
सुनील
here.
जी, आपका वेट कर रहा है, और आपको उसको ढूंढने की जर्नी पे क्विट नहीं करना है। आपको 100 लोग यस नो बोलेंगे, लेकिन 101 वाला पर्सन आपको यस बोलेगा ही बोलेगा। सब लोग आपको यस भी नहीं करेंगे, सब लोग नो भी नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन हम
See
कहाँ
if we
पे
can
क्विट
get some
कर दे रहे
other
हैं?
connections going here.
लोगों के माइंड में नेगेटिविटी है, आई अग्री कि
Negativity.
नेगेटिव चीजें हमारे साथ
It's
नहीं होंगी,
negative if you expose a scam.
या फिर फ्यूचर में नहीं होंगी।
Hey,
होंगी, हम उसके लिए तैयार बैठे हैं, हम अपनी तैयारी करके बैठे हैं। मैं आप लोगों को ये आश्वासन, ये गारंटी आज नहीं दे सकती प्लेटफॉर्म कितना टाइम चलेगा, लेकिन ये गारंटी दे सकती हूँ, वो जाए डूबे रहे जो भी हो, मैं आप लोगों के साथ हूं। मेरी इतनी गारंटी आप लोगों को है। ठीक है, और यहाँ पे जो मैं आपको छोटी और बड़ी बात बताने की बात कर रही हूँ, आपको शुरू
right.
से लेकर के अभी हम लोगों को जो आज तक बताया गया है, पढ़ाया गया है, समझाया गया है, वो एक माया जाल है। अब वो एक ऐसा बिलीव है जिसको कि अगर हम शैटर करने की, अगर मैं आपसे को-होस्ट से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि ये लोग जो बीच में आ रहे हैं ना,
I'm
डाबला
trying to
फारला,
try
इनको प्लीज
human
बाहर निकालिए,
psychology here.
बिकॉज दे आर
I'm actually
डिस्टर्बिंग आवर
going to
सेशन।
use her last name,
ठीक है,
Marco.
इनको यहाँ से रिमूव करिए और रिपोर्ट करिए प्लीज। को-होस्ट पार्टनर प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ दिस थिंग, टेक केयर ऑफ दिस थिंग।
Here we go.
ओके ओके, सो हाँ, हम लोग बात कर रहे थे माइंड प्रोग्रामिंग की। आज हमें लोगों के ऊपर, दिमागों के ऊपर मेहनत क्यों करनी पड़ रही है?
Yeah, here we go.
उनको बिजनेस में पैसा जो वो जिसके पीछे भाग रहे हैं,
You got
उसके
booted.
लिए यहाँ पे ये सेशंस क्यों करने पड़ रहे हैं?
Wonder what you said.
इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए मेहनत क्यों
What was your
करनी पड़ रही
username?
है? क्योंकि बचपन से हम लोगों को जो स्कूल में पढ़ाया गया, जो एजुकेशन दी गई, आज आपका एक ग्रेजुएट बच्चा, उसको इन्वेस्टिंग का पता नहीं होता,
Can't use
उसको
whiteboard.
बैंक्स का पता नहीं होता, उसको
Captchas
सेविंग का पता
request.
नहीं होता, उसको वेल्थ क्रिएट करने का पता नहीं होता।
Okay, here we go.
वो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद बिल्कुल ऐसा हो जाता है,
Here we,
क्या करना है मैंने?
here we go.
उसको 20-25 साल एक बच्चे को पता ही नहीं चल रहा है स्कूल से निकलने के बाद कि उसने जिंदगी में करना क्या है। हम ऐसी जगह पे रह रहे हैं, ऐसे माइंडसेट में रह रहे हैं, ऐसे लोगों में जी रहे हैं,
Gosh, she does go on
और
with that.
अब हमको प्रयास क्या करना पड़ रहा है?
Anyway,
अनलर्न द लर्न्ड।
yeah.
जो लर्निंग ऑलरेडी कर रखी है उसको,
So
उसके
we
ऊपर
wish that we could get
ब्लैक बोर्ड पे जैसे लिखते हैं ना, उसको मिटाना पड़
Zoom
रहा
to
है हमको,
ban
उसमें
people
बहुत
like
मेहनत
this
लग रही
because
है।
this in New Zealand they did a test
वो
case
बचपन से
of
लेके
the
जो 20
scam
साल 30 साल पढ़ाई करी या
and
जो माइंडसेट
people
बनाया,
lost
बहुत मेहनत लग
hundreds
रही है
and
उसको
hundreds of
कन्वर्ट करने में,
dollars.
क्योंकि हम लोगों को वो चीजों से
And it's
दूर
just like
रखा
an
गया।
old-fashioned
अगर
chain
आप एक बात बताएं, अगर ये
newsletter thing.
इन्वेस्टिंग गलत है, आज आप बताएं जो हमारा स्टॉक मार्केट है
I'll
इंडिया
actually
का,
put you on
उसकी
another
बात करें हम,
screen and then you
उसको
can
क्या
see
बोला
the
जाता है?
You can see what I've done.
सट्टा
I've got
बाजार।
multiple screens going.
सट्टे का मतलब क्या हुआ कि हम लोग सट्टा खेलते हैं अगर हम इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में एक्सचेंज वहां पे काम करते हैं, क्योंकि लोगों के दिमाग में डाल दिया सट्टा। अब कह रहे मैडम सट्टा करती हैं अगर वहां काम करती हैं तो कितना बुरा लगेगा। उन्होंने चीजें ही
Yeah.
ऐसी क्रिएट कर रखी हैं। अगर
I'm
ये
gonna, I'm
सट्टा
gonna,
है तो
I'm gonna
हमारे
tell her that
जितने
we're coming to get her.
मिनिस्टर्स हैं मोदी
We
तक,
know where she lives.
वो सब लोग सट्टा बाजार में क्यों इन्वेस्ट करके बैठे हुए हैं?
And then we'll see what she says.
हम लोग नॉर्मल लोग वहां क्यों नहीं जा पाते? आज हम लोग क्रिप्टो में काम क्यों कर रहे हैं? हमारे पास इंडिया में ऑप्शंस नहीं है,
Yeah.
लेकिन यहाँ पर क्रिप्टो में इतना बढ़िया लोग अर्निंग कर रहे हैं और उसके लिए हमें मेहनत करनी पड़ रही है लोगों के
Oh my
माइंडसेट पे।
goodness.
और किसके साथ? सीधा का सीधा जो
Joel, hello. Is that me?
सीधा का सीधा जो हमारे चीजें ऑलरेडी हम लोगों को आज यहाँ पर सिखाई गई है ना, हमको उनको सबको साफ करना पड़ रहा है।
She's trying her best.
क्योंकि अगर सबको पता चल गया कि वेल्थ कैसे क्रिएट होती है तो नौकर कौन रहेगा भाई साहब? हम लोगों को नौकरी की ट्रेनिंग
Got me.
मिलती है 20 साल। हम लोगों का माइंडसेट रहता है मेरा बच्चा पढ़ेगा,
Sorry, it's
उस
in
पे
different
मैं
language,
लाखों
but
करोड़ों
we can
इन्वेस्ट
stop them in
करूंगा,
any
कल को
language.
वो नौकरी करेगा, नौकर बनेगा। बातें सब लिखी हुई हैं,
Let's
साफ
give
साफ
it.
शब्दों में लिखा हो नौकर,
Let's see if I can get one
नौकरी।
more connection going.
और हम लोग उसको कितना प्राउडली बोलते हैं अरे मेरा बच्चा नौकर बन गया।
Okay.
ठीक है, सो ये बात बहुत बड़ी बोली है
What
सुनील
I'm
जी
doing
ने
here,
कि
guys,
हाँ
is
लोगों के माइंड नेगेटिव हैं, कुछ हैं, उनका आंसर यही एक आंसर है। हम लोगों को रिच बनना नहीं सिखाया जाता ताकि हम किसी के गुलाम बन के रहें।
hello. We lost sound, have we?
TRC कैसे करना है, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, जो भी
There we
चीजें।
go.
ठीक है, तो वो हम लोगों को यहाँ पे हेल्प जो है वो मिलेगी आप सब लोगों को। और विनोद जी और हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे एक बंच ऑफ गुड ट्रेनिंग, क्योंकि सब लोग एक्सपर्ट नहीं है, हमको मालूम है। लोगों को देखो हम सिखाएंगे तो लोग खुद अपनी लीडरशिप क्रिएट करेंगे। ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे हम लोग 8:30 बजे पूरा सेशन ओवर कर देंगे। अभी कुछ लोगों
Okay,
के
here we
हैंड
go.
उर्मिला जी को लेना चाहूंगी मैं यहाँ पे। हाँ जी उर्मिला जी।
Raise
हेलो
hand.
मैम,
हाँ जी नमस्ते जी।
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था
हम्म।
जी। मैं न्यू ज्वाइनिंग कराई तो गलती से रोजा मैम 558 को एसएमएस करने की जगह रोजा 555 में एसएमएस अपना डिटेल भेज दी, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं होगा?
नहीं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
Uh,
अभी आपको ये चीजें देखनी है,
यही पूछना
किसको
था।
अप्रोच कर रहे हो आप?
so that window open. That's
निशा
it.
मैडम का नंबर आपको दिया और निशा मैडम से बात कर लो। आपने उसमें जहां 5 लिखा था वहां 6 लगा दिया,
जी
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। होगी कि नहीं होगी?
होगी।
हाँ, तो आपको आंसर मिल गया।
That one
आप
there.
खुद ही बता रहे हैं।
The other one I got
रोजा 5 पे
removed.
वेट करो, अप्रोच करना है भाई।
जी बस
चलिए
मिस्टेक हो गया।
कोई बात, इसको ठीक कर
थैंक यू।
लीजिए, नो प्रॉब्लम। अभी बाकी वहां से रिस्पॉन्ड तो नहीं आया ना अभी?
आ गया था।
आ गया था, तो आप उसको
फिर
प्लीज ठीक कर लीजिए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे रोजा प्रोफेसर वहां पे भी बैठे हुए हैं।
जी
ठीक है, अच्छा।
जी
नेक्स्ट अभी हो गए हैं 2 मिनट और बचे हैं। मनोज जी को ऑप्शन दे रही हूँ मैं बात करने के लिए। जी मनोज जी।
मेरा तो क्वेश्चन है मैडम।
हाँ जी।
वाईफाई में जाते हैं तो वो मेरा ये खुलता नहीं है।
Didn't like that
जैसे
one.
साइट खुलते हैं ना,
हम्म।
तो कभी कभी नहीं खुलता है।
अच्छा,
तो
किस पे?
वाईफाई बंद करके काम करना पड़ेगा कि
Melissa Smith, is that you?
जैसे ये जिसका साइट में अपना हम ये खोलते हैं,
अच्छा अच्छा।
मैं अपना अकाउंट खोलते
Acha
हैं,
acha.
हाँ
जो वाईफाई रहता है तो कभी कभी नहीं खुल रहा है। तो
अच्छा।
कैसे काम किया जाए, उसको बिना वाईफाई
I've
का
just
काम किया
opened
जाए
96
कि
other
मतलब वाईफाई
tabs,
में
so hopefully I get
मतलब
I stay
ये
here.
थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन है।
हम्म।
दूसरा
तो
क्वेश्चन
देखो,
है जैसे
अपनी याद करा दी। अभी मैं आपको अ, हम्म, आपको
Okay.
एक लिंक भेज दे रही हूँ। अभी कुछ अपडेशन हमारी अपलाइन की तरफ से भी आए हैं यहाँ पर। कोशिश करूंगी आप लोगों से यहाँ पर मीटिंग में इधर शेयर कर दूं। और जस्ट नंबर।
Announcers.
और अच्छा, दिक्कत पता है क्या हो रही है इसमें? जो कुछ एयरटेल की है, जिन लोगों ने कंडीशंस लगा रखी है ना, उसमें दिक्कत होती है। अच्छा मनोज जी, सिर्फ एक बात बताइए, आपको ज्यादा दिक्कत तभी आती है जब ट्रेड कर रहे होते हो, कोड लगा रहे होते हो, कि उसके आगे पीछे भी दिक्कत आती है?
नहीं ना, जनरली वो जनरेट हो रहा है। मतलब कल रात में भी 11 बजे रात में भी खोल रहे थे, तो वाईफाई में खोल रहे थे, नहीं खुल रहा था। तो जब वाईफाई बंद किए तो मतलब खुल गया वो।
अच्छा, तो वाईफाई कौन सी कंपनी का है आपका?
जियो।
हाँ जी,
जियो। जियो।
जियो का। तो वो कुछ
हाँ हाँ।
एक वाईफाई का इशू हमको दिख रहा है। देखो, हमें यहाँ पे काम करने से मतलब है, समझ रहे हैं आप? तो आप एक मिनट सर,
Christopher's got his hand up.
एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन है मैडम।
एक मिनट जरा मैं इसको ना ऑफ कर लूँ ऑडियो।
Wish it open
हाँ
up
जी,
the chat
बोलिए।
room.
दूसरा
Multi-speaker
क्वेश्चन
view.
है,
हम्म,
जैसे वॉलेट में जैसे ये डॉलर है,
हम्म।
उसको हम INR में कन्वर्ट करें तो क्या इशू, कोई इशू तो नहीं होगा? मतलब कैसे क्या होगा, थोड़ा सा शॉर्टकट समझा दीजिए तो अच्छा
शॉर्टकट
रहेगा।
में ऐसा है, अभी देखो हम लोगों को डॉलर्स की इतनी यहाँ पे जरूरत रहती है, आपका टीम में सर्कुलेट हो जाएगा, उसकी चिंता
What
मत
she
करिए,
said.
ठीक है?
जी।
और जो बाकी चीज रहती है, बाहर इतने ट्रेडर्स हैं जिनको चाहिए होता है कि हाँ यार हमारे पास बहुत ही अमाउंट आ गया।
I think
आपके
she
पास
said to
जितना भी
heck.
अमाउंट आएगा ना मनोज जी, यहाँ पे आपको हमेशा कम लगेगा, हमेशा ही कम
जी।
लगेगा। लेवल राइज के साथ मैंने देखा कि मैं एक ही स्टेज में बैठी हुई हूँ। मैं सेकंड थर्ड लेवल पे थी, तब भी लगता था यार है ही नहीं मेरे पास, मैं कैसे टीम को अपने
Multi-level
डॉलर से
marketing.
अरेंज
That's
करूँ?
why she's
ऐसे
talking about
लगता था बड़े
levels.
लेवल पे जाएंगे तो देंगे।
Melissa
वो
Smith.
टीमें इतनी
Ah, I
इंक्रीज हो
knew
गई
that.
कि अभी
I said
मुझे
that.
बाहर से ही लेना पड़ता है, कहीं ना कहीं से टीमों में किसी के आ जाते तो हम सर्कुलेट कराते, तो उसकी चिंता की जरूरत नहीं है। जो आप
ओके।
चीज कमा रहे हैं ना मनोज जी यहाँ पे,
Let's see
वो
what we can do
मार्केट
here.
में वो डिमांड है उसकी, उसका
Get
प्राइस बढ़
fit
के 100 हो
mining.
गया हुआ है।
The
आप
Zoom
बाइनेंस पे
links is
जाके
gone.
देखो,
Isn't
102
that cool?
103 104 का भी बिक रहा है वो, जबकि उसकी कीमत कम है
Dumb
क्योंकि
hey.
डिमांड बढ़ा हुआ है, ठीक है? तो उसकी चिंता ना करिए आप। और बाकी
थैंक यू।
मैं आप सब लोगों से लिंक यहाँ पे शेयर कर देती हूँ। यहाँ पर
So
हम
this
लोगों
scam
को
is going
आज
wildfire.
एक तो हमारे जैसे वो
6
है ना
different
आज
government agencies around the world have reported it as a scam.
सैलरी डे है।
And that,
कितने लोगों को सैलरी मिलने वाला है? अच्छा भाई, मैं शेयरिंग अभी ऑफ कर रही हूँ, सॉरी, क्योंकि टाइम हो गया है, ठीक है, 8:30 बज गए हैं। तो मेरा उठने का जाने का मन तो नहीं करता, आप सब लोगों के पास से दिल करता है कि और आपको हेल्प कर दे, आपको नई नई चीजें सिखा दे, आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस सुने, लेकिन टाइम के हमें बांधे रहना पड़ता है, सबका टाइम प्रीशियस है।
oh,
सब लोग जल्दी आएंगे, ठीक है? जल्दी दिखाएंगे आप। 5 मिनट पहले 10 मिनट क्या क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है उठने में और चीजें करने में? लॉग इन करिए ना, टैप ही तो करना है, जब मर्जी आप ऑन कर ले उसको,
Melissa's
है
got
ना?
her hand back up again.
सो भाई यहाँ पे मलिसा स्मिथ मिथ भी बड़े आ रहे हैं बाहर से, पता नहीं कहाँ से लोग फॉरन के
Laughing
ज्वाइन
at
कर
our
रहे हैं और हम लोगों
usernames.
को यहाँ पे डिस्टर्ब करे, पहले भी हो चुका है। यहाँ ये न्यू लिंक है DSG की वेबसाइट के, ठीक है?
Where's
ये मैं
the
आपको यहाँ पे आपको आपके अपलाइन से भी मिल जाएंगे, इसको कॉपी कर लेना आप, ठीक है?
oh, where's my mouse gone?
इसको कॉपी कर लो और अभी मैं फिर से फीडबैक
Oh,
क्लियर
there
कर
she
रही हूँ।
is.
सिर्फ जिनको सैलरी मिलने
Sally Taylor. Go on, you know you want to. See?
6 7 8 9
We caused disruption to the
11 लोगों को सैलरीज मिलने वाली है। वेरी वेरी अमेजिंग, बहुत बहुत मुबारक आप लोगों को। और आप नेक्स्ट लेवल पे जाएं, यही शुभकामनाएं हैं। और दिनेश जी अगर हमारे साथ हैं यहाँ पे, तो मैं शेयर देना चाहूंगी थोड़ी सी।
touch these
दिनेश जी
people.
नहीं
It's such
बदल
a
रहे हैं,
pain.
दिशु नहीं है अभी, चलिए कोई बात नहीं। So everything fine, okay? मिलते हैं सेशन में। Take care, God bless you all.
She's ended it. Oh, great. Yes, you know, but if we go back to what we're doing. So yeah, so that's GF Wealth Management. We've done numerous blogs about. Actually, got a court case pending where somebody was a variant of that scam on the internet, and they've tried to do me a case in the New Zealand High Court for. What are they trying to do? They're trying to do a lawsuit against me for exposing this scam. And here it is here. But when you're it's even, this has been TV1 News.
Are teaming up to battle a high-risk scam hitting communities in both countries. There's international warnings about Ponzi scheme BG Wealth, but its rapid spread amongst Tongans is sounding alarm bells. Pacific correspondent Barbara Dreffer with this exclusive report.
The lure is real. Promises of big cash, 100% returns and more, sweeping the Kingdom of Tonga.
Very concerned
but you get the idea.
Tongans involved in this, and that they might lose some of their hard-earned savings.
The UK,
more people
Australia,
are being captured
Canada,
under this.
Tonga, New Zealand have a website.
Sensational reserve.
Is even this video here. So that's a lady in our financial regulator that we go after. But give you an idea, like this is and if you go to the video of it, what we've got is me when I was not as hairy as I am now. But this video has now got 4,400 views, and Queen Karma will know what that means. That's actually amazing. Is they send people through to create messages. So this is a typical message that we get.
BG continued growth and success, and I'm grateful for the growth and experience it provided. However, I discovered a new platform that is more suitable for building and developing a team in the long term. New choice.
So you can see that they've actually started, propaganda messages, and then we write back to them because I think it's better off leaving them there than removing them every 10 minutes. But this video is quite good. So sometimes, like, to get views is actually quite healthy for me. That's probably my biggest video. But unfortunately, it's my biggest video because that's the biggest. And when people are actually on the internet and they go to Google and you'll probably find, all this somewhere down here. Hopefully, you'll see my warning. But if you go to videos, you'll see a lot of people promoting it. Got 4,500 views on my video. Then it tells you how big it is because obviously my video is getting, it used to be way up the top and now it's the never-ending battle, unfortunately, to produce content and get people to, what am I trying to say, create the awareness and stop people thinking that because their mate's doing it and he's making money, they'll get into it as well. But a lot of people think they can get in for the first couple of months, and not many of them do, and then get out and be up on the deal before people. That's why, and then they talk about how wonderful it is, and then I lost money as well, and it's just how it works. So we just create as much awareness as we can. That's probably not my favorite meeting, but we actually have a database of all the people that are running these meetings. When we get their names, we'll build a profile, and then we'll let regulators in their country hand over all that information. So that's literally what the Avengers do. We build databases of people and activities, and then we hand them over to authority, and we sit here and wait. So we've exposed have remorphed themselves 3 or 4 times before any government action has taken. I'll tell you about one that was called, started off being called Hypertech, and then Hypercapital, Hyperfund, Hyperverse, Hypernation, Hypercosmos, Hypermall, Hyperpay. It just kept going. It rebranded itself every 10 minutes. And that was to change the liability because what they were down the website that was running the scam, but you can transfer your tokens from one entity to another. So people think they're introduced to a new scheme and they'll say, oh, you need to spend this to get this, and then we can move everything over. So then you're forking out new money all the time. And then people that don't want to lose their money aren't talking about it being a scam because hopefully it's not a scam because they need to keep it going because all they want to do now is get their money back. And it is like reverse psychology. And everyone wants to do it without even, what am I trying to say? They try to do it without anyone knowing that they've trapped themselves like they have. And it's just, it is actually disgusting. So it's a never-ending battle. But as you can see, it's 4:10 here in New Zealand at the moment. And that means it's 10 o'clock at night. So the chances of me finding another Zoom meeting are pretty slim. But we normally start the same time I started the broadcast today, and that's what we normally do. And when it's got 3:03 meeting, it means that they've reissued themselves a new Zoom link, which means I need to clean up my database. And that was somebody who was promoting something who lost their nerve or Zoom has decided to stop them using Zoom, which is less likely, to be honest. But I'll just put these out, these fishing hooks out, so to speak. That one there can be shut. Yes. So we've spent hours doing this, haven't we, Avengers? But is it ethical? I'd have to say it is, because we save people. We're like the Robin Hoods. We are like the Robin Hoods. Jimbo browser. I think I need an afternoon sleep at this rate. I'm so tired. I think all my Avengers are absolutely hit the wall at the moment. We've all been working too hard doing this Goliath Ventures thing, and I think we all need a holiday. Last night, the guy paid $180 to go on a 2-day cruise ship. And then he could buy the drink package for $300. If he could drink $300 worth of booze in 2 days, it was all good. That was funny. But anyway, that's what we think we need. We all need to go on a cruise ship. Maybe we could get a cruise ship from each country and meet in the middle. And then we could have a party on a rubber dinghy. That would be quite cool. When I went to America, I actually did meet up with 4 of my Avengers, which was absolutely amazing. And not only that, I also found some new Avengers when I travel, people that want to help us fight crime, which is really cool. Let me up, Danny. Oh, okay. Why not? I'm falling asleep, though. All right. Okay. It's the same link all the time, but I'll give you it again. Anyone else want to join me on stage? You're more than welcome. Join. Oh, I've got a join link. I've forgotten what it is. Hold it. Join T. Oh, my goodness. I do it naturally. I didn't know how to spell it. There she goes. Come on, say hello. Oh, I've been so busy lately. Oop. Queen of Karma, she is a blog writer, and also she goes after cults and multi-level marketing. So she's part of our channel. She's part of our Avenger crew, and we're proud that anybody who spends and dedicates their time always welcome here. And that's if you want to help us fight crime and stop these mongrels. Oops, mongrels means inbred dog in New Zealand. Well, let's say that. Why don't we say that in future? We'd like to stop these dogs. That might be better than calling people mongrel. But we just can't stop them. Wow, look at that. No meetings taking place. Pretty wicked. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Nothing happening. Let's have a look at Queen of Karma's channel, see what she's been up to. She's always a bit of fun. Let's go to Avengers, Queen of Karma. Who else is there? Queen of Karma. Oh, you've got over 7 now. Good girl. 2K videos. Oh, you're not far behind me, and you've been going longer. I was doing like 2 or 3 videos a day at one stage. What's your latest video? What's your latest live? Sad day with the naysayers, isn't it? Oh my God, there's 2 days ago. Oh my goodness. Larry Lane. What have we got here? Let's have a look. Don't like music, just saying.
Back the coin. We'll get into that.
Hey, that's my blog.
Founded in 2025, GGC, which I've been calling it only GGC this whole time.
Global Gold
because
Coin.
it's shorter to say, so we'll probably be referring to it as GGC mainly. But it was founded in 2025. GGC is the digital asset, the cryptocurrency sold to recruits in the MLM scheme. The whole thing's an MLM scheme. And the investors. It's marketed as gold-backed. Again,
Gold-backed.
hold that thought.
What are you doing?
Compliant and tied to
I'll put you over
real-world
you. Hear that?
value. Okay, they're like, we have a vault.
That's pretty freaky. Hey, what's really freaky is that's my blog, and you're reading. Is it my blog or your blog?
That's my blog.
Oh, so you wrote about them too.
That I just wrote.
Oh, right. Look at that. So if you come to here and click on there and click on Danny, and then go to blogs, and then go to anti-MLM cults, you'll get an array. Was that the one here?
Yeah.
Oh, I looked at that last night. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, so is that who's this guy then? Not Patrick Lane. Please don't tell me that. Looks
No,
like
that's
Patrick.
the other guy. That's Tony.
Oh, I don't think I've met him. But okay, so give me an update on the global gold coin. How's it
Well,
going?
they're hooking up with this guy who runs Micro Venture Capital Fund.
Oh, really?
And and he's gonna fund them. They accidentally released a document saying that they are not backed by gold right now. Right there.
Oh my goodness. So that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that paragraph right there, the third paragraph, the second sentence. The GGC digital asset is not backed by actual gold reserves at this time.
What the hell? After all this time, they've come up with that now. That is just so stupid.
And now they have diamonds.
Oh my God, they'll have oil next. So it's just, it gets stupider and stupider. If people who don't know, this whole scam started by a guy that has been incarcerated for 6.3 years who was going to sue me for $100 billion. And he was telling everyone that they could buy, that you'd sign up for his platform and you'd get $200 worth of gold.
Oh, it goes up. It's gone up. It like every single 2 weeks they like add an extra $100.
Oh, and it's on their own exchange. There's no exchange. And it always goes up in like 50, 100, 200. And it doesn't go up in like...
like it's ridiculous. Like no coin is going to grow like this before it's even on the market because they're like, it hasn't launched yet.
And so if you when you sign up on a Gmail account, you get given free tokens. And then, so you could literally set up 20 Gmail accounts and get all the tokens given to you. But it's pointless because you can't cash them back. So it's a one-way street. And then if you did sign up and pay for tokens for a friend, they will use Gazelle and Cash Up. Is it Cash Up to get the money?
Yeah. They were just getting you to donate.
And now they've merged what with what? They've merged, he's bought the client base of the professor.
Well,
I reckon
they ran out of money, I think. So these are the companies that this guy allegedly, he's like a consultant.
Yeah.
He basically hooks up with starter companies and then helps them build their like marketing materials and their affiliate agreements and all of that fun stuff.
Oh my God.
But like only half of these companies are actual companies.
Right.
The other half are just like fake LLCs. Like I couldn't find them anywhere.
So the real stupid thing about this is they've already got 2,000 people who think this is the best thing since sliced bread, and it doesn't matter what you tell them. They just call you idiots, basically. So it's look at me, Queen of Karma. Look at that. What's that? Hey. Let it in your blogs.
But I did key takeaways, though.
Yeah, this is good. That's good. Looking really good though, because when we first got you doing blogs, it was like I sort of have a special way of formatting them, and you hit the mark every time, except for that one. But you just lost your brownie points. But it's really bloody good because it's so nice. I mean, I obviously my focus at the moment is doing Goliath stuff at the moment. We've got some. It consumes me. These the whole content, but the fact that you're producing that's brilliant. And what I do like about my website is I have some of the blogs. I think they're ranking pretty cool. So we'll have a wee looky. So they are coming up in the search engines, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And do you put them anywhere else as well?
I asked AI to get me information on someone in Hare Krishna because I couldn't find it. And then they were just linking me to my articles on your website about Hare Krishna.
What a
and
funny
I was like,
one.
no, that's me. I need sources that are not me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So like, if you don't know what we do normally, so let's say if I, this is what I do. I don't know if you do it. So if I go in here, log in here, I'll go, that one's all right. That one's all right, and that one's all right. So I've got
I use the dashboard.
if I go into downloads, so today's blog is this one, but I've actually got yesterday's blog, I think, which is one of these ones. I think it's that lawyer one, that one there. So if I go like that, put that in there. So I republished the blog's image, and that one there, I think it was the one. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I'm going to take ages. Let's go here. One image. I think it's that one there. That's it. So I just religiously go through all these here, grab the blogs, that one there. Whoa, come on. I go to shops. Oh, hello, Frank. Do I know Frank? I think I do. Frank. There we go. We've got a friend. A Frank. Right, Frank. How you doing? I won't put you on stage just in case you're nude. I know the name Frank though. So Frank's on here. So now what I do is I come in here and I go to publish blogs. So if you haven't got it, like, buy me a cup of coffee is quite cool, because it's just another way of getting. You can't do that in Canada, right?
I think that they are opening up in Canada soon, but no, when I tried to make an account with it originally, it didn't let me. It was like, you're Canadian, you can't do this yet.
Canadians get restricted by a lot. That's probably why you're such lovely people. You get, but you get what do you call it?
I can't share behind MLM on my Facebook.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, because it's considered. I guess Oz is considered a news source.
Oh, so you're like controlled by China? Is that what you're saying?
I am. Yeah. Well, Canadian Facebook has made it so that we can't post any news anymore because of all of the spread of misinformation.
Wow.
So they were like, we're just going to stop them from posting the news altogether. That should help.
Oh, right. That's amazing. I didn't think Canada was that sort of strict. Yeah.
We are. We're basically Europe or the UK. We are very, very strict when it comes to things like this now. I can't put a PDF. I might have to send you, because I downloaded the whole PDF presentation from the GGC.
There's a limit on how big a file can be. I have to FTP them in, so that's why.
Yeah, I tried to make it smaller and it wouldn't work. I tried, but
it's a bit of how to do.
But it would be good to have the whole thing in there. I linked it in the link, but just in case they delete their link, it would be good to have it in there.
And that's kind of why we do it as well, actually. So you can see what I've done here. I've published this one here, so that's the next blog, and then I've got this blog here, and then I'm going to go to this one here, and then the only thing I need to do is get the forward, which I think is that bit there, and these, I think, that one, no, that one, yep, subtitle, boom, and then I go get the video, zoom, and I get this one here, copy, and then we just do them one at a time. So that's going to be there, and everyone's got their own. I think I can paste that. There it goes, and there we go. And then I need to, and that's blog number 1 done. So then I want it to go to here.
I know, I tried small PDF. It was it's too big. I think it's because it was their full presentation, and so there's a lot of images. It's all images.
So, yeah, no, my server, because it gets hacked.
Huge.
Well, my server gets hacked all the time, so we've limited what we do with it. How many bigger files?
Yeah, it's pretty big. Even half of it, they were it's still just at half. It was just a little over still, and I was oh.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I'm gonna have to send this to
and then I come back to here. Oh, I'll do the other ones first. I've done that one. I've done that one. Done that one. So in comes the good stuff. Put that there. Paste. Embedded video. And then I think that goes there. Oops, no.
That's on LinkedIn, right? I have no LinkedIn presence.
I've had 1 million views on my LinkedIn profile in 1 month in the past. And that was when I was doing the Pakistani stuff. But I had some help with my LinkedIn profile. It was getting some messages out. But it is actually, it's an interesting one. I get quite a bit now because I've built up that presence. But it is tricky to get to know. So that's now published on LinkedIn. And then I can share it on X. And then I come across over here and I just delete some stuff I don't want. And click post, and now that's on X, and then that's it, and then I'm ready for my next one, so I can shut that down, and this one's ready to go as well. Go to my subscribers, Goliath Ventures Inc. Send to everybody, and that one's done. This one here, I need the link.
I'm on LinkedIn. I just I only have used it for jobs in the past. Like it has like my resume on it.
I post on LinkedIn and correspond with everyone every day. It's a big thing for me.
And I think it's my career resume too. Because I have a few different
timeline,
resumes, right? I have like my career resume, and then I have I'm just getting a job as a cashier resume.
Yeah. No, it's quite good. But these, the other one that I do that's quite massive, if you go to podcast, so you go to podcast, you can see if I go to this one here, this is Christopher, and it's just the sound. And then when you go to see all, these are all the places that my podcast is posted.
Do you record those like yourself?
No, I just take the voice out of it, of my video. And then if you search for my blog, then what you'll do is you'll find all the blog sites. Like here I am in Apple, and that's how I get my bigger footprint out there. So here I am in Shopify or Spotify, and Frank. Oh, Frank, do you want on here? What have we got here? Small Queen. You just take your mute off if you want. I'll put you up here anyway. I just didn't see you in the chat room. Sorry, mate. I'll put you down here. There you go. I'll put you. You can. There you go. You can be on top. Hey, I've got a meeting on my Friday, your Tuesday, or whatever it is, and I'm going to try and get all the victims to speak, which is going to be funny. Yeah.
Have you contacted some?
No, I'm just putting it out there. I don't know how it's going to go. It's sort of an oxymoron because we're really struggling with victims who don't want to come forward with the Goliath one, and it's just no victim wants to talk.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I get it, but also if I lost $100,000 and I thought if I made enough noise, it might help. But some of these people just don't want to talk about it, which is a shame. Yeah, which is understandable. But in the same time, we still want to hear from people on the detrimental effects that these scams have on them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it helps spread awareness to other people, but...
Yeah, so then that's those blogs. So then what was that?
It might take a little while since, he just got arrested. People are still kind of coming to terms with it. So even if they don't speak out this week, maybe try again in another few weeks too, and then maybe some will show up. It takes a while, right? It's just like leaving a religious cult where it kind of happens in phases. First you're like, wait, this guy just got arrested, he ripped me off, and then you kind of go through the stages of grief in a weird way.
Oh yeah, well we talk about those, but there's anger, denial, bargaining. I know acceptance, the last one. Is there any others? Depression. Yeah.
And then acceptance.
Oh yeah.
Is of course the last one.
So with this one I'm doing at the moment, my inbox is full of people who are either telling us how bad their story is. It's absolutely incredible. I've lost 400,000. I won the other day, 130 me and 150 my father. and these are people that are ready to retire. But it's not giving up, and then we're getting the media having a hash at trying to explain what's going on, like they don't want our help, and that's sort of quite frustrating. So it's a really, and we're talking 328 million. Do you ever heard of Cornelius? What's his name? He's a YouTuber that busts scams. Spencer, Cornelius Spencer.
Cornelia, yeah.
Yeah, so he wrote.
Covered on passive.
Yeah, I wanted him to do a story on it originally, and he said I was too scared because of lawsuits in America. So anyway, he wrote me a congratulations the other day, which is quite nice. Basically saying,
no, it's a little different. Like that's kind of the same with the on passive too. Like the person I was covering it with is quite close to where Ash is. So they were like, I have to be a little more careful because like that they're not going to come to Canada and sue.
But I think if they change the law that anybody can call something a scam if they want to and not get done, that would be quite cool.
Here in Canada, it is kind of like that, where you are allowed to review businesses publicly. They also have whistleblower protection if anything ever did happen, where you like called something a scam and they tried to come after you. So like it's pretty good for that. So it's a lot harder here.
But look
in
at
the
Julia.
US, they sue for everything there.
Yeah, but Julia had a hard time though, didn't she?
Pardon?
Julie Andrews had Anderson had a hard time.
Anderson.
Yeah, and who was trying to sue her? Oh, yeah, that was Lane, that one. But I've got so many lawsuits now that they don't actually consume me so much now. Like I woke up at 5 o'clock the other morning and this company was telling me that they're going to charge me $300,000 if I don't do something. Anyway, we wrote a reply, and then a minute before we sent the reply, it was Goliath. They filed a discontinuance, and I didn't realize I actually had the email 2 days ago, but I missed it. But because I didn't give them a reply as per their demands, they must have lost their nerve. So that court case I had with Goliath, where they filed 23 filings and tried to demand my ChatGPT records, and they sent people to pay me $150,000 to shut up, and staked out my house, staked out my neighborhood. It's all got dropped, just like that. And then you think
I think it was an intimidation tactic. They were trying to see if they could get you to stop.
Oh, well, that's the only reason. That's the only reason they do it. That's literally what it's all about. And they're stopping other people doing lawsuits as well. So all these people that want to speak to me, they go, "Oh no, because you got sued. I don't want to get sued." And I go, "But they've got nothing now. The US government has friggin', gone after them. I mean, it's just ridiculous."
Well, that's all you would have to show up with is proof of that, and be like, "I was trying to speak out about this."
But you can't do that though, because even if I wanted to turn up in a courtroom and just say that, I'd have to go through, proving that I had all my paperwork. I might not be able to represent myself because it's over so much money. I'd have to have some sort of education behind it all before I could even do it, which we literally were representing myself. I had a team of people behind me, but that was our strength. But it's still very complicated, doing it. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of funny in a way that we got to that stage, and now I've just been totally vindicated, which is so nice. But now the media won't report anything on me. It's just like, oh, don't mention Danny. Not one of them has mentioned me other than a comment in a LinkedIn post saying thank you for coming into America and risking your life, walking around the streets of Orlando, being interviewed by these bastards. They come to my island. Was it come to my island? Yeah, well, he is on stage, but he might not know how to unmute.
What are you doing, Frank?
I don't need to mute you. Can I unmute her? Yeah, come talk to us. Ask us questions, anybody else. You got any questions? Do we have any questions I haven't answered? I reckon that might be Bob. Frank's got too many messages. Use small do. No, you might. Do you know Frank?
It's called Larry Lane.
It's Bob. Has to be Bob. Bob's our undercover agent. Even we don't know who he is, but we do know he's got 6 toes.
And 5 GGC members.
Oh my goodness, the fun that we've had doing this job
It's because Larry Lane's in it. He has it out for Larry Lane.
I know.
I
Larry
can't
Lane.
blame him. It's so annoying.
How do you
Did
say
you
it?
know that Larry
Lane.
Lane? Did you watch my Larry Lane birthday video?
No.
Did
I
you
didn't.
know that they won Fear Factor and 2 other reality TV shows?
I've seen that. And they were twins
They've
when
been
they did
on
it.
Ellen and Dr. Phil
Oh my goodness.
and Rosie O'Donnell.
That is crazy. Cray cray.
They've had quite the career before
No, and then they do
MLM.
this stupid shit. How do you go
I
from
know, it's
being
such
TV
a
celebrities to
letdown.
just stupid shit person?
I know, it's like, what happened in between? I don't know what happened in between,
What happened?
but something happened. Dude, they're the people that did the Still Working 9 to 5 Dolly Parton documentary.
Right. I'm amazed that we can actually call them dumbasses and get away with it then. Because theoretically, they're somebody. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like Gary was more of the Hollywood guy, and then Larry's more of like the MLM dude.
Oh, right. I don't even understand how that works. Gary Lane gambled it away. There you go. We talked about Larry Lane. He couldn't help himself. It's popped up in the chat room. I love my PDF and tried that one also. Oh no, what's another one? Gary Lane gambled it away. Did you see Wikipedia was edited? Who's edited it? Mine.
Which Wikipedia? The Goliath one?
Oh, I'll have a look in a minute. Just get this one
At
done.
what point?
Oops.
For a while, okay, the On Passive was on Wikipedia, and we were going back and forth because we kept trying to put up on there that they were getting sued, and then they would like take it down.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
And then we would like put it back up, and then it would get taken down.
I'll
And it
have a look
happened
at
for
that.
quite a while. And then finally, you know, they couldn't really hide from it anymore, and it got left in there. I'm pretty sure one of the main wiki mods was like, no, there's proof of this happening.
Well, I had to ask for protection on my one because I had these idiots that kept changing
Yeah.
it all. And it was like, oh, God. And I quite like being on Wikipedia. It's probably my most respected one because if you go onto Google and just search for Danny DeHeck, for example, then you get the first thing you get is my website, and the next thing you get is Wikipedia. So let's have a look.
I don't think I have a Wikipedia.
Oh,
I just have a Snark subreddit, and then
well, they had it cost you a couple of grand normally to get them set up, but some beautiful Avenger basically said, "Oh, I've set you up a Wikipedia page." I said, "Oh, thanks very much."
isn't it free to just write one?
Eh?
Can't you just write one?
Well, you can't create it yourself. Somebody else has to spend the time researching you, and then they monitor it. And then when you come in here and give updates, they have to approve it. So, so they've even quoted from my own website, which is really, really crazy.
Nice.
But if you go down to, I don't know what they've put, Goliath Ventures began publishing, or maybe that's what they've done. Oh, I've always had Goliath Ventures in there. Let's have a look. So then Goliath Ventures now, background, print coverage. And look, here I am. Look at that, I'm famous.
Nice.
And there, look, I'm all the way through it, according to the heck, you know, so it's quite cool. Because it's quite neat, because I've got this court case at the moment, and the guy that's going against me hasn't got a shit show in hell, and he's challenged the court that I'm not a real journalist. So when I'm being quoted by Wikipedia, it does help. You know, and I publish every day, you know, so that's always got to go on. I'm thinking, oh my God, you're getting desperate. I wouldn't want to take me on. So that's the Windermere houses, Sanford. Isn't that cool? Criminal investigation, Homeland Security, Middle District, whatever that is. Walt Disney Parks.
Got the case number.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right, let's have a look and see if we've got anything else. So I've done 2 posts then. So now that will give me a bigger footprint. And if I wanted to, I'd take the sound off the video and put that up as a blog. So then when you come here, Oh, so if you're doing a video by yourself and you think, oh, that was really good, and I didn't do much graphics, meaning like you're not telling people to look at this, look at that, and you think, oh, that would be good as a soundtrack. Just give me the soundtrack and I'll chuck it on as my blog. Because the other one is merch, which is quite cool. I don't sell much merch, but I like having the ability to upload a picture. Oh, who's this young lady? Let's get her on there. And look, you can buy yourself a pink T-shirt. Pink. Danny should write mine. I don't know if you can. It's really complicated. You got to be like, you can't say this and you can't say that.
What would he say?
Oh,
This
Bob's
man
got
has
6
6
toes.
toes. I have no clue where he lives.
Yeah, Danny, where you write my wiki? Yeah, mate. Yeah, what would I put? What would I put about Bob? Dear Bob. Yeah, oh,
He's one
that's
of my
great.
Avengers. I don't know much about him, but he
Let's
does
have a-
have 6 toes.
Yeah, let's have a look at this Larry Lane guy.
I don't know the answer to that one either. I'll look into it. And it's like, why are we here?
Cool.
Why are you wasting all of our time?
The 7 levels of exchange fees. But what we're doing is we are actually mirroring the team, so it will also be in the MLM section or the MLM portion, which now will have the new training packages.
I did this a lot.
I know. Oh, look, he's doing the crane.
Yeah, he's always like this level and this level and
And
this
it's
level.
and he must
this
be like,
level.
I wonder if he makes enough money, because these guys are like at the top of the pyramid. So you'd think
I
that
have a feeling that they might get something for joining all of these. Because like they
you're right
do
on the
come
money.
with their Hollywoodness.
Yeah.
Like in the one meeting that we watched, all of the people on the birthday for their birthday stream, we watched one, and at the beginning, all the GGC people were like, "You're the guys that won Fear Factor, blah blah blah."
Hey,
So like people know who they are.
hey, what's
We
Jelly
just
Snack?
didn't know.
What's Jelly Snack doing in your room? That's just not fair. Larry Lane. She's originally yours, isn't she? You've got her, Larry Lane.
It's mine.
Yeah, no, she's mine. Fear Factor. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, let's see what they did.
Larry and Gary Lane, Fear Factor.
What was that?
I did their whole biography at the start of the birthday stream. It was great fun.
Let's see what they did. Did they eat snails? Kiss your brother. That will be it.
That 2013 sizzle is hilarious. It shows most of it. If you were to play that, I used that in my intro.
We're all on candid camera right now.
Candid camera. We love candid camera. We love. We're from the South. That's why we're so nice.
Oh my god. Oh, so that's
money in my bank account. If we're racing somewhere,
right
I have to get there first.
Oh yeah, I reckon I
See,
saw this.
that's them on Fear Factor right there.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And it shows all of the stuff that they do in Hollywood.
Huh.
They went to California 10 years ago chasing a dream.
Wow.
They were in a bunch of commercials for Pepsi.
We
There they
would
are
love
on
to thank you
Ellen.
because for you being on television, being such a positive role model, that gave us
Rosie. Dr. Phil.
There are some efficiencies when you can be 2 places at once. It's like having a clone.
So
It's like having a clone, like an AI clone.
They do Wipeout.
Yeah.
Making spectacular time, jumping.
Well, the US version, yes.
And then I hate to think who that hug was.
That's Jack and Jill with
Oh,
Adam
my
Sandler.
favorite.
They're in a bunch of movies. Yeah, because remember that was a twin movie. And then they did the
right.
Dolly Parton documentary. And they actually did 2 things with Dolly Parton. They were very close friends.
And now they're like multi-level marketing bastards.
Yeah. Kind of sad.
Nothing's going to stop us from achieving our dreams.
Oh my god. From Fear Factor, so the summary will be.
Oh my God, so awesome.
Yeah, they won the grand prize of $50,000 twice and $100,000 one time on reality
Wow.
TV.
That's crazy.
And while they were finishing up with the latest Hollywood project, which was in like 2020, I believe it was, that's when the MLM started to get like really bad.
Yep. That's a shame they've gone down that road, but they're obviously getting desperate for money, I presume. Because I do believe they would get paid to
who they
promote.
are, yeah.
Yeah, they would have to. Because I've been approached before by some shady people asking if I'd be willing to promote something. But it was like literally China, but I didn't entertain it. Told them
Well,
to
we
take
have proof that MLM companies, even in startup, will approach people that already have followings and offer them money to be at the top.
Yeah.
To keep the illusion going.
Illusion.
Yeah, so we already know that they do that. Those two are honestly perfect candidates, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's partially why they jump around so much, is because they get paid, they show up, then they don't get paid because none of them take off. So then they get offered another one, and then they jump ship.
Yeah. Oh well, I suppose that's me really. The only thing I'd encourage you to do is go to live. Yeah. My next one, well, maybe there'll be other ones, but that's the one you want to schedule. Live victims speak out. Yeah. And I'll probably be on the show by myself, but I've got a lawyer that's going to come now, which will be quite good. So that'll be interesting. Which is quite exciting.
That would be cool.
Yeah, well, I thought, why not? He's pretty cool. He actually had booked some time with me. So if you're going to bookmark anything, any people's, by all means, bookmark that. And I think I will start to fall asleep.
All right, I will let you go.
Oh, thank you, darling. You're awesome.
Have a good night, Evan.
Oh, excuse me. All right, we'll see you online. See you in the soup, as they say. So yeah, well, that's Queen of Karma. She's absolutely lovely, and it's so nice when other YouTubers working with you. I've been on her show, and she's been on my show. And Frank, he's Frank now. He's making noises. He comes alive. Guess Frank's making noises. Oop, hiccups. I figured out the sound now. I can hear you. Yeah. What do you know, mate?
What do I know?
Yeah.
I heard this Danny guy was added to a top secret WhatsApp group.
What you saying?
He was added to a top secret WhatsApp group called Global
Oh.
Gold Coin.
I don't know, have we got what have we got here? Let's have a look.
Global Gold Coin?
No. Oh, is that gold coin? Is that the last one you gave me? I think we already had that, didn't we? Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
A room open, Danny.
Yeah. You're in the Nigerian Global Gold Coin group.
Oh, I think I'm going to fall asleep in a minute. It's open here. So this is the gold coin room.
No, you're in the Global Gold Coin WhatsApp group.
Oh, yeah. I'm just too busy to look at anything at the moment. I've just been working far too long. And they leave it open. Pack of idiots. Yeah. All right, Bob, I'm going to go and I will call it quits. Did you take a look at that?
It is now the Frank show.
The what?
Just Frank. It's now the Frank show. You're transitioning over.
I can't hear you properly again. Don't know what's wrong with Bob's sound these days. But it's the thought that counts.
I got the bald man's microphone. It's the worst ever.
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're saying. The fantastic microphone that looks good but does shit or nothing. That's basically it. I've got this is a microphone, mate. Does it look like that?
No, I have one.
That's a proper studio mic. When you can talk like this and pretend you're a newsreader, you can be right on the mic and tell people everything they want to know. Buy Danny a cup of coffee. That's nice. I'd rather beer at the moment. Just saying. Buy me beer.
Buy Bob a microphone. That's the other subreddit.
Yeah, it's good. All right. All right, I'm going to love you all and leave you. Bob's going to get kicked off the stage. Love you like a brother, Bob. Boy, don't do it. He's gone, but he's not gone, but he's gone now. There we go. He's gone. I need a new one. Mine's broke. Oh, really? I've got a spare one, but probably cost me more money to send it over to you. And it's like an $800 one because I bought 2 of them. That's one of them. And I've kept it for a spare just in case. But I thought I was trying to record a room of people once when I was doing a podcast. Friggin' ridiculous. All right, guys, that's me. It's 3 hours and 9 minutes of my life. I'm never going to get back, but hopefully I've given you some wisdom today with our reading of our blogs. And as I always say, thanks to you and thanks to me. It's good night from them and it's good night from me, the 2 Ronnies. We'll call us the Vengers, and we'll see you in the next broadcast. See you guys.